Hey y'all, we are on a road trip adventure today down to Chickamauga Reservoir. This is the third reservoir of the Tennessee River system. It's about an hour and a half each way from where I live, so not a place that I come all the time, but boy, when I do, I love coming down here because they are some big catfish, both blues and flatheads, and wouldn't hurt my feelings if we got a few of both today. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working this river bend here. I don't know if you can see from the camera angle and whatnot, but we're going to take an outside river bend. We're going to work our way up through here, and it bends around to the right up there, and just cover water today. We're going to get out here and just go try to keep our speed about half a mile an hour. They're running a smidge of current at the dam, but where we're at here, no noticeable flow. I'm sitting still right now as I'm doing this intro, and the only movement, well, it's got us moving 0.4 here, but we're actually moving closer to the bank this way because that's the way the wind's blowing. So the current itself isn't really moving us at all. But what we're going to do to start with is we're going to start dragging, because that's the technique that's been working best for me lately. Now, if it's not producing, or if we start getting snagged up constantly, I have fished here before a couple times. Been over a year since I fished this stretch of river last, but when I tried dragging here before, man, up and down through here, there is a ton of debris, a lot of wood, trees, limbs and stuff. It's snag city. So we're going to start trying to drag because that's been working. But if we're constantly snagged, or if it's just not producing, we're going to switch. I got a couple other rods with me and we'll suspend some baits. So as for bait though, I went out yesterday, netted us some shad. I've got one big sucker in there. I've got us some shiners. So we'll put on a combination of baits today, but I'm gonna start out with some gizzard shad because that's what's been working well for me lately. So I'm gonna get one of these gizzards. Actually, I'm gonna get two of them gizzards because we're gonna do a head and a chunk to start with. I'm gonna put the rest of this back here in our cooler. That way we'll have it, keep it on ice. Getting this bait yesterday, man, we ain't got much today, and it was a struggle to get what we got. I was really having a hard time yesterday, but you know what? We got it done in the end, and we got enough to fish with today. So we're gonna just take us about a half, 3/4 of these shad. They're not very big. And we'll do the head on one and we'll do a chunk on the other. I threw that other head bait out because I cut off most of the meat of it there. But we'll get I'll show you the rigs here and get our speed set and all that, and we will get on the mood and proceed. I'm gonna leave this camera rolling today, so you're gonna see everything from right now when we're getting started until we finish up here today. And I'm probably gonna fish for 4 or 5 hours, I'd say. Today. It's a nice, pretty day. We've got very little wind out here, which is rare this time of year. The wind has been cranking here in East Tennessee for about the last 2 months. Just about every day it's a hurricane by mid-afternoon hours, but today it's pretty nice. It's relatively low winds. It's warm, it's sunny, so we're gonna take advantage here, folks. So here's what I'm gonna do. If you can see here on my remote, we got the kayak with the bow mount motor. So I'm gonna hit that button there, which is your core setting. And I'm gonna hit this button here, which is your cruise control. That sets our speed at 1 mile an hour. Now I'm gonna back it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 0.1 mile an hour increments if I get my words out, up and down. So that should put us at a half a mile an hour. And you see how the ledge is dropping off here, and there's a fish. See how it's dropping off? I want to work that corner. I want to work that corner of the ledge right here where it drops off and then starts to level out. I want to work that corner all the way up around this bend. So fish like that, we want to catch those. So let me get a spun back here and get our baits on, and let's get to it, y'all. We got fish to catch today. Got plenty of time to talk. We're already running out of time to catch fish. So let's put our head bait on the left rod. That's a 10/0 size Mustad Demon Circle hook, the fine wire. Look at all that poop dripping out of that shad, man. That thing's nasty. 80-pound monofilament for the leader. We got a float and rattle a few inches above the hook. That goes up here to our dragging sinker, which is an inline dragging sinker that I've been playing with the last couple months. Very curious to see how that performs out here and all the debris we're going to pull through today, or if it gets snagged up like everything else. Well, I got that on 40-pound main line. That's Catfish Sumo direct contact mono line, and then of course I got it on my signature series Kayak Catfish rod here, also from Catfish Sumo, Shimano reel. So we got that one going out. Let's get our other bait on. This one here will be the same exact rig and rod and everything that I just showed you, but we will put our body section of shad on this one. I gotta get the rest of that poop off my hand. That's nasty. Them shad are nasty creatures. I don't know what makes gizzard shad poop so much, but boy, they poop a lot. You tell a gizzard shad he's full of it, it's legit. Right here though, look at this. You see that right there? We're about to, I'm gonna flip that bail over before we drop that thing down into a big mess. That right there is a big mess of something. It looks like there might be some fish there on top of it too, but that is what we're gonna have issues with today, trying to pull through that. I'm hoping this rod on the left here don't get snagged in it. Nothing's more frustrating than getting snagged right off the bat, but yeah, well, there's gonna be a lot of that up through here. But here's the thing. Part of the reason this area I think has produced so well, both on blues and flatheads in the past, is because of that, because there is so much debris and cover, things for fish to hide in and around, current breaks for them when they're actually moving water, which is not going to be an issue for us today. But while that is a nuisance to pull through when you're dragging, it can be beneficial having that stuff. So we're past it now, almost finished letting out some line on this. I kept the line going out on the rod on the left the whole time, so we'll see when we flip the bail over. We may be all up in that mess, depending on how wide it was. But yeah, folks, we're going to cover some water today, and if the bite here is like it has been when I've been fishing at home lately, I suspect we're going to do well today, and if you're seeing this video, that's a good sign that things went well. It means we got on some fish. If this video got posted, then we got on some fish today. But lately, for whatever reason, man, the bite I've been getting while dragging has been outproducing everything else by a wide margin, both on numbers and size. Like you know me, I love suspend fishing. It's my favorite way to fish. I'm not hoping to get snagged, but if we get a reason to switch everything over and suspend today, it won't hurt my feelings. But I just haven't been doing any good with it lately, man. I've been going out, I've been trying. Did you see that? We were already getting snagged. It pulled out of it, thankfully. I'm gonna flip the bail over on that one. We're gonna run one. That one there is put farther back behind us. This one here will be closer, because we are going to get snagged at some point through here. But you can see here, hopefully on the graph too, let me show you. You see how we're on the edge, it drops off. These contour lines come together real close here. That's signifying a rapid change in depth. So that's over here to our left, it comes straight off. Then here, you see how the lines widen? That means the bottom is kind of stabilizing. It's leveling out. And so we just want to work that edge. I love working the edges of a ledge. And we're going to try to follow that contour all the way up and around through here. Now we could do the same thing in other techniques. We could drill, well today, I mean, with the lack of current flow, we could troll this way and suspend baits. Have them just off the bottom, follow that same line. We could anchor fish. Just anchor down, cast our baits out in that general area there off the ledge, and then just incrementally make your way around. There's a lot of different ways to fish it. But like I said, dragging has been what's been working well for me lately. It's just been outshining everything else, and I hope the bite changes soon. I'd like to get back to suspending baits and feeling like I have a reasonable chance of doing well when I go out doing that. But right now, I'm going to just stick with what's working until it stops working. That's about all you can do. If the fish tell you they want something a certain way, by gosh, give it to them. And right here, look at that. What's going on? That's a fish. We're hooked up just like that. Buddy, that's a good sign. That's a good sign. We're a few minutes into the trip and already got fish number 1 on the shad head. All right, y'all. 32 feet here where we're at currently. That's pretty much what the depth is going to be up and down through here. It's going to be in the 30s. It's going to be pretty consistent all the way around this bend. Really about the only thing that's going to change up and down through here. There is a creek that comes in upriver from here, so I suspect there could possibly be some fish around it, either right above or right below. And of course we're going to have the snags that will work around and stuff that we may see fish on or around it. But otherwise, things are going to be pretty consistent out here today. Taking my time with this fish here. I got a lot of line out, so we got a pretty good distance to pull in. The water clarity, if you can see on camera or not with the sun glare and all, but it's pretty clear. There's quite a bit of visibility. And the fact that we're fishing only 32 feet deep, I'd like to have a little distance between us and our baits, just because these fish are going to see the shadow of the kayak go over. It's a blue cat. He's a small one. Small fish to start. This bass fisherman goes by over there. Let's get that slime off our line. Come up here, Blue Kitty. You're fish number 1. How's it feel to be the star of the show? People didn't even have time to click off the video before you bit. They're actually going to see you. Whatever fish bites last, nobody will see, but you're going to be a star fish. Let's bring him in a second. I want to throw him on a measuring board. I'm in a month-long slot limit tournament, so our small fish today, some of them we're going to have to measure to see if they get close to 30 inches without going over. This one is not. He is only 27 and a half. And I wasn't going to do this, but here I am. I've talked myself into it. I'm going to take a picture of him. I had planned on only taking pictures of fish about 29 inches and up this month. But it's later in the month here, and I've only got 3 out of my 10 fish submitted, so we may take a few extra pictures just in case we end up needing them. Nobody's really run away with it. I mean, today's the 13th. Nobody's run away with the tournament yet. Get out of here, fish. Thanks for being number 1, buddy. I thought it would take, and I still do, that it'll take 10 fish over 29 inches to win the tournament, but my confidence of me getting 10 fish over 29 inches at this point is starting to wane a little bit. Between some poor fishing trips that I've had and just so many days I'm losing fishing because of the wind, we might just play it safe and measure a few today. That one there was pretty cooperative for us. Most of the time these small fish don't want to lay on a measuring board and behave, but that one there was agreeable to what we wanted him to do. We'll hook this bait up the same way we did the other, just out through under the gills there, out between the eyes. We'll send it right back out. All right, y'all, hey, fish number 1. Fish number 1 in the books. I've gotten us a little off course here while we were fighting that fish. We're going to have to veer a little bit to the left, but that rod right there got, I think something is after that. Well, maybe he hit it and left, or maybe I just imagined it. I don't know. Either way, I got a venturous back to the left here. You can see we got off course a little bit. I want to be hugging that contour right there, and there's a fish right there under us though. So there are some fish here, as evidenced by what we're seeing and the fact we just caught one. Water temps down here today, 62 degrees. So we're kind of, main channel areas now are in the 60s. Let's flip that bail over. Main channel areas here in the 60s, and that's usually when the catfish bite really starts to pick up for both blues and flatheads. It seems like 60 is just a magical number for some reason. It's when they really start turning on and feeding more. And I don't know if I have caught flatheads here. I fished this area very little. But when I have been here in the past, I have done well on blues and flatheads. And I don't expect us to necessarily have a real good shot at catching a big flathead doing what we're doing today, dragging. It's a great technique for blues, not so much for flatheads. Now, if we end up suspending baits today or possibly anchoring, and with the fact there's no flow and the way the wind is blowing, I don't think we're going to anchor today. I think if we get to where we're getting snagged up all the time and we can't really drag, we'll just suspend. We'll troll and suspend. But doing that, we'll definitely have a better opportunity at flatheads for sure. I don't know why. I don't know why you can catch them so much easier suspending than you can dragging, but it's just, I've been doing this crap long enough to know that, at least for me, suspending outperforms dragging by a country mile for flatheads. But yeah, it was about, it wasn't last year. Where did I go? Last year, no, I think I did fish here last year. We had our tournament here last April, it was a year ago this month. And I think the year before, it was either in April or May we were here. I'm pretty sure I think it was last year I fished this stretch of the river, and I done well. I can't remember if I finished in second place or third place, but I cashed a check for sure on this stretch of river. Now, what I had done is I'd come out, I remember I pre-fished, whether it was this year, whether it was last year or the year before, I can't remember that, but I do remember how I set up for the tournament. And what I had done is I'd come out here and pre-fished and tried to drag and couldn't do worth a damn because I kept getting snagged. And so I ended up anchor fishing. And that's what I did in the tournament. I anchored and just made my way down along this bend. And I got several fish, and I can't remember if I got second or third. I think I got second. It seems like one year we fished here I got second, and one year I got third. I cashed a check in both, but I can't remember. I can't remember yesterday, let alone a year or two ago. I actually can remember what happened to me yesterday, and I'll tell you that story. We've had a ordeal at my house. Let's just get right into it, why don't we? I've told you how we're fishing today. Let's get right into the good stuff. So, my house, my channel members have seen my house. I do some channel members videos, kind of behind the scenes videos. I do them around the house oftentimes. And so they've seen how my house is positioned with my neighbors and so forth and so on. Well, I got a new neighbor in front of me. He just moved in I don't know, a month or so ago. And I hadn't talked to him yet. I've seen him outside a few times while I've been outside. He seems like a younger guy. He's been quiet so far. He seems to keep to himself. I've not introduced myself to him. He's not introduced himself to me. Life had been good. And about maybe a week ago, I guess, he had a bobcat brought in. And it's just been sitting there in his yard. And I'm like, I wonder what he's going to do with that. Because his yard ain't very big. He's only got 1 acre. Part of it's a hillside. Most of it's wooded. I'm like, what's he going to do with the bobcat? And then the fact it's just been sitting there. Like, it's not... I don't know how much... I mean, he may know somebody that's let him borrow it or something. But, like, if you go rent a bobcat, that's a pretty good expense just to not even be using it. Leave it sitting there. But anyway, yesterday... I go outside, I was getting ready to go catch some bait, and I go out the kayak and get everything set up, and I see the new neighbor talking to my other neighbor that's in the corner, share a corner of my property with. And my neighbor that's down there in the corner, he's very animated when he gets fired up. Like, he's waving his hands around and pointing at stuff, you know, like he's a very animated person. And so I can see he's fired up about something with this. I call him a kid. I don't know how old he is. He's probably in his 20s, maybe 30, but he's younger than me, so therefore he's a kid. And there's somebody out there on that damn bobcat scraping his yard and whatnot. And I already know, just by looking down there, I know what's happened. He's gotten over on my other neighbor's property there with that bobcat, and my neighbor's pissed about it. So the nosy person in me, you know, I'm nosy, I want to know what's going on. I'm thinking, man, I should go down there. I should just kind of interject myself. Good opportunity to say hi to the other neighbor and introduce myself to the new one and get the scoop, right? But I don't want to get roped into it, because my other neighbor that I know down there, anytime you talk to him, you're stuck talking to him for at least an hour. You can't get away from him. And I got stuff to do. I got to catch us some bait for today. So I do the responsible thing. I just go back in the house. I'm going to leave it be. Ain't none of my business. I'm trying to be a more mature person, you know. So I go back in the house. I change clothes. And I'm getting ready to walk back out and go catch our bait. And I look out my living room window, and the guy on the bobcat, who was kind of in his yard, like scraping his yard, getting brush and stuff off of it, now he's in my driveway. And he is scraping, he's running that bobcat with the bucket on it there. He's scraping my gravel off my driveway and taking it down and packing in a gully, a ditch area there. Because my driveway, I share a driveway with this neighbor. I have 2 driveways to my property. My house, in the original lot it was on, faced the highway and faced this neighbor. So we shared a driveway coming up the hill, and then I have a driveway that comes up to my house that direction. Now, after that, I bought my house in 2006. I think it was 2010, maybe 2009 or 10. I bought the lot that is kind of behind and beside my house. And it's easier to get to my house coming from the road that lot connects to, just because I'm not turning off the highway, I'm turning off a side road. So it's just easier. So I use that driveway most of the time. But I've kept the other driveway. I've maintained it just in case that rod got hit. But I've kept that other driveway just in case. And it's on a hill. And that part's gravel, and it connects into a concreted driveway that goes down to the highway, right? So when it rains hard, water washes down that hill, and it's cut a gully between the gravel and the concrete. That's a fish. Reel you in another one here. Don't let me forget where I'm at in the story, because it's about to take a turn, and y'all are gonna be interested in this. People love the messes I get into with my neighbors for some reason. We're gonna tell this fish so we get him up here too. He's done interrupted a story today. This one here ate the body chunk. Y'all wave a bass boater going by over there, he ain't gonna catch nothing. They actually might catch something down here. This is kind of known as being a big bass producing body of water. It's known more for the bass than it is the catfish, actually. This is another blue cat right here that's comparable size to the last one. We'll maybe throw him on the board and see what he'll do for us here. He might be a little longer than the last one, actually. We need him to be 29 3/4 inches for our slot tournament. Needs to be as close to 30 inches as possible without touching the 30-inch mark. You need to get him calmed down is what you need to do, folks. This fish is right here, he's acting up. Look at him, he's got his mouth clamped shut. You know what I'm gonna do, fish, then? Come on in like that, then. If you're gonna act that way, I'm gonna treat you that way. Been so much gentler if we could have just got you to open your mouth. Okay. Put him on your board up here, folks. Let's see how close he gets to. He ain't gonna be no 30 inches, but we'll see where he's at. Well, he's a little bit bigger than the last one. He is, I think he'll touch 28.5 right there. Tell him to be still for me while I get that picture and get my tournament identifier, would you? Let me get my... All right. Take us some pictures. Head's against the board. Tail's touching 28.5. Perfect. Well, it ain't perfect. It'd be perfect if he was an inch bigger, but it's an upgrade nonetheless. See you, buddy. Thanks. I do hope we can catch something bigger than that today, though. I want to catch some monsters out here today is what I want. Look right there on the graph. Right there's one. We got to back to the left a little bit. Okay, let's see what we can get out of here. Let's try. I kind of want to try one of those shiners. We're going to put that sucker on at some point too. Tell you what I'm going to do on this, and I'm going to cut the tail off. I'm going to save a little meat for that head. We may end up reusing that head there at some point today because we just don't have a lot of bait to work with. That fish there, he threw the bait off a hook too. If every one of these fish throws the bait off a hook and we catch several, we're going to run out of bait. Which if we run out because we've caught a bunch of fish, that's a good problem to have, but I definitely want to have bait for when we catch a monster. All right, let's get situated here again. I got to get us. Now we've drifted way off of where we want to be right there. All right, let's get us going back this way. I'll be glad when we get around these bass fishermen over here. Y'all know I don't like telling stories around other people, but I got a good story to tell you here with my neighbor. So, anyway, my driveway. gravel, goes down a hill, and in the rain it washes and puts a gully between the gravel part that comes on up to my house versus the concrete part that goes to his house and that me and him share. Well, dude on the Bobcat's taking my gravel and going down there and packing in that gully. And I'm like, you got to be damn kidding me, because like that's my driveway, you know, like this. Now, I wish you could see it it'd be easier for you to understand, but like that's my driveway. It comes to my house. That kid, that grown-ass man who owns that house now, I keep calling him kid, he don't have no reason to be in my driveway. The concrete goes all the way up to his house. But nevertheless, dudes on the Bobcat taking my gravel, scraping my driveway and packing it down in that gully. So I'm pissed, you know. So I was like, well, hell far. Now I got to go out here. So I go out there and I don't see my neighbor now and him. Like them two were out there before. I don't see them now. But I walk on down there and the dude on the Bobcat stops. And he's like, can I help you with something? I said, yeah, you sure can. You can tell me why the hell you tearing up my driveway. And he's like, oh, that's a driveway? I was like, yeah, this strip of land here with gravel on it that leads to my house, that's a driveway. And he was like, oh, well, do you even use this driveway? I said, hell, it ain't none of your damn business if I use this driveway or not. It's mine. You don't just tear it up. And he's like, well, we're fixing it here. We're going to make it a lot better. We're going to put new gravel down and all that. I said, well, that's all well and good, but you don't got the courtesy to come knock on the door and say, hey, you know, this is what we're wanting to do here. Are you okay with it, since it is my driveway and all? I mean, look, if somebody if they want to spend their hard-earned money fixing my driveway, I mean, who the hell am I to tell them no? But don't you have the courtesy to come knock on a door and say, hey, here's our plans. Here's what we want to do. Because, I mean, just the other day, I just sprayed weed killer around my property, fence line and all that. I spray that driveway. Keep all the weeds and stuff from coming up. So I spent a bunch of time and money spraying that damn driveway that no longer exists because this guy on the Bobcat, who turns out to be the kid's dad, is down there scraping it up. So I'm pissed. But like I said, he's saying they're going to fix the driveway and bring in all new gravel, yada, 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 which, again, makes no sense to me whatsoever. Why are you going to fix somebody else's driveway? But whatever. I'm trying to be younger Justin. Could go 0 to 100 like that. I got a quick temper. In my older years here, I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be less reactive when I get angry. I'm trying to recognize that I have a problem, and I'm trying to be more consciously aware of it so that you know, I don't end up blowing up on something that don't need to be blown up on, if that makes sense. Sometimes in the past, I make things far worse than they should be because I get too mad too quickly. So I'm trying to be better. So anyway, I'm talking to this guy on the Bobcat, and you know, he flew, it just flew all over me. I mean, first off, don't look, oh, that's a driveway? No shit, Sherlock. Yes, it's a driveway. And then he has the nerve to say, well, do you even use it? Like, that just flew all over me. Because it don't matter if I use it all the time or if I never use it again. It's mine. It's my driveway. You don't just come and tear somebody else's stuff up because it suits you. But anyway, we get through that, and I'm a little bit better since he's planning on bringing in a bunch of gravel and fixing it. But then he says, well, if we can come in your other driveway, it'd be a whole lot easier getting a dump truck in here and bringing the gravel in. I'm like, well, I bet it sure would, but in order to do that, you're gonna have to drive around my shed and through my yard to get down here to this, because the dump truck can't go between my shed and my carport. It's too wide for a dump truck. So they're gonna have to tear up my yard in order to do it. And I done went through that last year when the utility board came and trimmed the trees along the power lines. They drove around my shed because they couldn't get their equipment between my shed and my carport. So they had to go around, and they dug these big old divots, some of them 3 and 4 inches deep, down in my yard. And I went out there and raised hell at the utility board office. I made multiple phone calls. You know who had to end up fixing my yard? Me. Because I couldn't get anybody from utility board to take responsibility for it. So I know damn good and well, if I let this guy bring a dump truck full of gravel in, that's the same path they're going to take, and they're going to tear up my yard too. And he's done pissed me off. Look, if he'd come to me in advance and said, hey, here's what we want to do. We want to fix this gully down here, which I don't know why it bothers them, because it's off the driveway that they use. But nevertheless, had they come knocked on my door and said, hey, here's what we want to do. Are you cool with this? And told me in advance, and us had a conversation about it, I'd have probably let them bring that dump truck in through my property and go down there. But now, no way, hell with it. I ain't letting them tear up my yard. And besides the point, hell, that damn dump truck can come up their drive. It's steep. From the highway up, it's steep. And that's what they're thinking is going to be a problem. But when they fixed up this house, not this kid that currently bought it, but the people, is one of them real estate companies that bought it from my previous neighbor. They come in, fixed it up, flipped it basically. But when they done that, they brought in one of them big trucks and one of them dumpsters that you just park on a job site and leave for a while. That truck with the dumpster attached to it, like, that's as big as a dump truck. So if that truck can get up there and drop that dumpster off, and that was a splash over there beside it. If they can do that, well, guess what? A dump truck full of gravel can do that. And when I had that gravel that used to be on my driveway before it got scraped off by this guy, when I had it brought in, and it's been, God almighty, it was early on after I bought the place. They come up that driveway without any issue. So I ain't letting them tear up my damn yard. So anyway, we conversate for a few minutes. The kid comes out with my other neighbor. They had been in his house at that point, and introduce myself to the new neighbor, vice versa. So we go our separate ways, and my other neighbor wants to talk to me and whatnot. And of course, what he had been pissed about was the guy on Bobcat, the kid's dad. And this guy, he's operating that Bobcat. He clearly knows how to do it. He knows how to drive the Bobcat. But you can tell just by watching him, he ain't no good at it. Like, I could read instructions on how to bake a cake. But if I baked a cake, you wouldn't want to eat it because it'd probably turn out like concrete, right? Like, I have the ability to read a cookbook and mix some ingredients and stick it in the stove, but I wouldn't want to eat any cake I baked because I don't know how to bake a cake. Same way with this guy on Bobcat. Like, he knows how to drive it, how to operate it, but he ain't practiced in it. He ain't good at it, and you can tell by what he's doing. So my other neighbor's pissed because he'd got over on, they're out there, they don't even know where the property lines are other than my fence line. And they're out there operating that thing. So he'd got my neighbor's yard, kind of messed it up a little bit, and he was pissed. So anyway, and of course then I get stuck talking to my other neighbor for over an hour out there. So it took me forever to get to the water and try to get us some bait yesterday. But yeah, I mean, am I in the wrong on this, y'all? Like, you don't go on somebody else's property and start bulldozing, using the Bobcat on there without talking to them first. Like, in what world is that okay? And I don't give a damn if I don't know how he didn't know it was a driveway. When you have a path cut with gravel on it leading to a house, how you don't know that's a driveway. But even giving him the benefit of the doubt that he didn't know where the property lines were. So until you do know where the property boundaries are, why are you out there tearing stuff up? So anyway, me and the new neighbor, I got a feeling it's going to be like me and some of my other neighbors. It just, I don't know, man. I've realized the problem ain't necessarily my neighbors, it's me. It's an old saying. When you got a problem with everybody ain't the problem. It's you. And I have a problem with damn near every neighbor I got. So maybe the problem's just me. That one girl that lives beside me now, her daddy that used to live in that house, I didn't like him. I feuded with him. But him and his wife got divorced and sold the house to her, the daughter, and I like her, okay? I ain't had no issues with her. And then he ended up dying after that anyway. So she's okay now. The guy that lives across the street from me, I've never talked to him. I've lived at this house 19 years. He's lived there the whole 19 years. We've never spoken to each other. When we pass each other on the road, we wave. If we're both mowing our yard at the same time, we wave at each other. We've never spoken. And I wouldn't be shocked if we lived there the rest of our lives and never speak. And it's been great. It's been an awesome relationship. But, man, I tell you, when you have to interact with neighbors and there's stuff like this going on, like boundary disputes and them tearing up your property or them making a mess or just, it's just stuff I don't want to deal with. I just want to be left the hell alone. That's all I want. I want to be left the hell alone. And I had to waste a long time yesterday between that and then getting stuck talking to my neighbor who he's talked me into, he's going to fix my porch steps for me. Hell, he's done talked himself into a job. So I'm going to have to talk to him again soon when he comes up there and fixes my porch steps. But so anyway, it took me all afternoon to finally make it to the water yesterday. But I did get us some bait. It was a challenge to get. I put in at a boat ramp, and it's got a creek there at the boat ramp. And normally, if I'm going to go down there and try to net shad, I'll throw right there to start with, and then make my way to another creek. Well, yesterday there was a bunch of people there, a bunch of cops. It's a news story locally. I don't know, depending on where you live at, you probably may have not heard it. I don't know, it ain't no national story for sure, but locally it's a story here. And I don't have all the details to it, so I'm gonna butcher it, but here's the facts I know as of Sunday, April 13th when I'm filming this video. So the other day, there was a high-speed chase down the interstate. Cops chasing some fellas. I don't know what they had done. I didn't read that far into it. So I don't know why they were being chased, but they were being chased. They get to the bridge where I-75 crosses the Tennessee River down there in Loudon. They lay on the brakes, stop a car, get out, and 3 of them jump over the bridge into the water, trying to get away from the cops. Well, I don't know if any of y'all out there watching this or listening to this are familiar with that area, but I-75 bridge going over the river there, it's a pretty good drop. Like, I don't know the exact distance, but I mean, it's pretty daggone high. Like, that's it's one of them things, like if you're not a professional diver, something splashed right there beside us. But if you ain't a professional diver, things are gonna go bad for you. Not to mention the water temps, 60 degrees, like that's a little bit of a shock to the system when you hit that water. And I don't know where they jumped in at either. Was it the middle of the bridge or was it the sides of the bridge? Because that one side, the north side of that bridge, you jump in the water there, like it's just a few feet deep, you'll break every bone in your body coming from that distance. Well, anyway, one of them lived, and he made it to the shore, and that was another news story. He was knocking somebody's door trying to get them to order him an Uber, and they called the law, and the law come and picked him up. Well, the other two, they couldn't find. They didn't make it to shore, at least they didn't think, so they've been out there doing search and rescue for them. Well, they ended up finding one body. As of me filming this, what I know of, and they've probably done found the other one by now by the time you're seeing this video a week later. But anyway, they found one body. So yesterday they was still out there searching for the other body. Now where I was getting bait at wasn't interfering with what they were doing. It was just, I put in at that boat ramp that they had their, like, the police had their mobile command center or whatever set up. That's a pretty good boat ramp. And so there's a couple other boat ramps between that bridge and where they were at, but that's the better boat ramp for them to kind of have their headquarters at. So anyway, they were all down there. And so I didn't want to try to get bait right there in that creek where all that mess is going on. So I went down to a different creek. I didn't do any good, so I come back to that creek, and I finally got the bait we got there, the shad and sucker and shiners and whatnot. So, but yeah, they still out there to my knowledge. They're still out there. And there was a bunch of people down there at that ramp yesterday. They were just standing around, like not in boats, just out there. They'd driven cars down there, and they wasn't fishing. And they was, just standing around. So I assume that must have been like family or friends of whoever it was they were looking for, in case they found a body or something. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know the whole story. Y'all look that up online there if you want to figure out why they were running from the cops and everything. I was just thinking, like, that's a big drop from that bridge. Like, they must have been, whatever they had done to be running from the cops, like, they really didn't want to get caught to make that kind of jump. Or else maybe they didn't know how far a jump it was till they had already leaped over. I mean, I'm not like super afraid of heights. Like, I'll climb up on my roof and clean my gutters out at my house every fall. I'll fly on an airplane. But if I was standing on top of a bridge, I don't think I could jump. Like, I'm not afraid of heights necessarily, but I'm enough afraid of heights that I ain't gonna do that. So they'd have to really have done something that they was gonna get locked up for to make that jump. So I don't know what they done. And that other one that they're looking for right now, hell, he may have lived. He may have escaped. That one little boy only got caught because he went and knocked on the wrong person's door that called the law on him. That supposedly, though, my mom was telling me, I guess she watched the news, the body they found was only like 75 feet away from the bridge. Because we ain't had no current flow. I mean, they've been moving a little bit of water, but not really enough to move the water that far downriver. So, the body didn't drift very far. And they got all them search and rescue boats. I imagine they've probably got all the fancy electronics, side scan, and probably live scope and all that they can look around and be able to find stuff. But yeah, that's the excitement in my area lately, folks. It's been going down through there. But yeah, I didn't want to get out there. I saw them people, and I'm like, well, I don't want to sit here and throw the net in front of a big audience. So I went that other creek, but there wasn't nothing in the other creek. So I come back, and I saw some shad flipping. I said, well, let me see what I can get. And even it was a struggle. Like, it wasn't. I probably threw the net probably 20 plus times to get what we got. I've just struggled on bait lately, man. I can't find no skipjack. I went to a place, today's Sunday. When did I go? Friday? Friday. It was raining on Friday, but I still got out and went to a place that historically I'm getting skipjack at this time of year, but they wasn't there. So I assume they just ain't there yet. But I went and checked it out, but man, I've been off the skipjack lately. I was catching them real good until we had a change and they dropped the water. Then we had a bunch of rain. It muddied everything up. And after that, I ain't been able to find them again. So I've been having to throw the net some and just get whatever we can get with the rough fish, like the shad and suckers and stuff. Which I don't necessarily mind doing when it's easy, but boy, I hate throwing. When you gotta go out and throw the net 30 times, that gets a little rough. But nevertheless, we got what we needed. We got enough to get out here today, and we're just pulling along. We're coming up here now in front of this creek, and this creek cuts in right in the middle of this bend. It ain't a very big creek. Like you can see over here with this pontoon boat's going in. It ain't a very wide creek. It's not very deep. It is fairly long, but it's I'll show you here on the graph. Like it is a defined creek. It's got a defined channel right here. So we're going to just see what we got going on over here beside it. I remember, whether it was last year or year before when I fished the tournament here, I had started up above here and went down, and I caught fish all up and down this area. I don't want to jinx this. I may be about to really step in it here. But so far, how long have we been at this now? Almost an hour, and we ain't snagged the first time. I'm feeling optimistic. We may be able to drag through here. I'd like to see us getting more fish. We started out with a bang. Well, we have got 2 fish in the first hour here, but I'd like to see us getting bit a little bit more frequently. I'm just ready to have one of them days where you catch 20, 30 fish and have some big ones mixed in. That's what I'm ready for, man. I really want to be doing some suspend fishing is what I want to do. But I just can't make that bite happen lately, and I'm trying to be less stubborn about it. Like, oftentimes when I fish, and maybe some of y'all like this too, you go out and you got something that you want to do, and you just try to force feed them fish into doing what it is you want them to do. And I'm trying to be better about being more accommodating to the fish. If they want a bait that's moving, I'm trying to make it move for them. If they want it set still, I'm willing to set still. I'm just trying to be better about it. Now, one thing today that I'd like to be doing that we ain't, that bald eagle right there? That's bald eagle right there on the right. That's an osprey over there, but it's an eagle. America. One thing I wanted to do today was to put a live bait on and pull it behind us up through here. But the launch I used, I put in downriver from here. There's a launch here in this creek too, but it's way, way back up in there. And so I put in there way downriver, but I was looking around and I wasn't seeing no shad flipping there by the boat ramp. If they had been, I was going to throw the net and get us some shad, and we'd just pull a live bait. That's kind of one of my plans that I wanted to do this year, was every trip out, just take whatever we get, whether it's a 3-inch thread fin or a 8-inch gizzard shad or whatever, put it on a hook and tow it behind us. As we do whatever type, like today we're dragging, maybe another day we suspended, whatever, just have a live bait out, up in the water column. And you know, back in the winter, some of you was watching the videos, I was catching a bunch of fish doing that. There was a lot of catfish up in the water column. But that seems to have petered out. The last few times I've pulled live baits behind me, I just haven't been doing any good up in the water column. The fish I've been getting have been down near bottom. And that's kind of what I experienced there when I got live scope a few years back and was playing with it. I was able to target catfish with artificial baits in the winter months that were up in the water column. But that bite petered out as we got on into some warmer water temperatures in the spring. And I got to thinking, it was going so good this year with me pulling the live baits and I was catching so many fish, I was like, well, did that bite really peter out with the live scope, or is it just because I was so bad with the live scope I wasn't able to see them fish? I wasn't doing it right. But as we've got on into spring here now, and the live bait bite's just it's not been good for me. I've kind of just been thinking maybe it's something about the winter. Them fish are just up more. Which I don't know why they would be. Unless it's something to do with, like, maybe there's something about that upper part of the water column that's more stable. Maybe it's a water temperature thing. Maybe it's an oxygen level thing. I don't know. But there was a bunch of fish, blue cats, this year that were up in the water column. I caught way more in the upper half of the water column than what I was doing fishing the bottom. And in the same, now the bigger fish I was catching was coming on bottom, whereas the numbers were coming on top. But it was a nice combination of getting both. I was having a good time with it. But as we got into spring, that bite has just petered out. But I did want to try it again today. I just didn't see anything around the boat ramp. I wasn't seeing shad flipping, and I didn't want to spend a great deal of time with it because, I mean, we do have bait to be able to fish with here today. And I'll admit, too, with the kayak being so limited on space, it's nice not having that bucket in front of us with the live bait. It gives me more floor. I can stretch out here. Plenty of floor space. Stretch my legs without it. So, and I can just take the weight out too, not having that 5-gallon bucket full of water in my cast net. I left it in the truck, or left it on the trailer of my truck, I should say. My new kayak trailer's got this big box that sits on the front of it. So I put the stuff that stinks, my cast net, my bait bucket, I put them in that, basically a big trunk is what it is. And it'll store 2 5-gallon buckets and still got plenty of room left for other stuff too. So I keep the things that I don't use very often but like to have with me in there, like umbrella, for instance. Today was no chance of rain, so why carry an umbrella? But I'll put it in there just to have it if I do need it. And of course the live bait bucket, aerator, cast nets, stuff like that. It's a good place for it. If you put that stuff inside your vehicle, you know how it is. You've done it before. Get out there on a day where it's baking in the sun and you got to open your door, the smell about to knock you down. It's a damn, smells like death is what it is, because undoubtedly you throw the cast net, you're going to get some little tiny shad stuck in your net. And you're either going to forget to pull them out or you're not going to see them. And then you're going to get in your vehicle and the smell of rotting fish that's baked in the sun all day It's gonna knock you down. So it's nice to have a storage box of them things. It'll bite me at some point. One of these days, I'm gonna get back to the launch, and somebody's going to have broke into that box and stolen everything. I don't keep anything of great value in there, but people steal everything. If it ain't bolted down, they're gonna try to steal it. So I wouldn't be shocked at all if it ain't if, it's when. One of these days I'm gonna show up back to the launch and somebody's taking that stuff out of there. I don't lock the box. It's got a latch. Well, the box come with 2 latches. And I ended up putting a different latch on. The latches that are naturally on this box, the way they're put on, it's hard to get your finger in there to pull the latch out and actually open the lid up. And so what I done is I tucked them latches up under the lid, duct taped them on there, and then I made me another latch and put on. It's easier to get on and off. But I don't lock it because my thing was, I'm like, well, hell, if somebody wants to get in that box and try to steal something, and you just got a little padlock on there, well, they're just going to bust the latch. They're going to take a hammer to it or a crowbar or something and rip the whole latch off there and damage your box just to get in. So like, I'm going to leave that thing unlocked and hope that people, one, you hope that you don't have any criminals down there that's going to break into it regardless. But 2, you hope that maybe if somebody does take a peek in there, they ain't interested in no cast nets or bait buckets or umbrella. But, like I said, people steal everything. I remember before this YouTube thing took off for me, I worked as a nurse. I was a registered nurse, worked ER. Now, I've busted patients stealing all kinds of stuff, but one of the funniest ones, it was when I still worked in Knoxville. This is before I started travel nursing. So there at St. Mary's downtown, they've done tore that hospital down now, but in those days we would keep the blood tubes in the individual patient rooms there in the ER. So you go in and you got to draw blood on somebody, start an IV or whatever, your supplies, minus the needles, would be in the room. And I kid you not, somebody stole, we caught them trying to walk out. They had bags full of stuff. Blood tubes, little 2x2 gauze, alcohol pads. I'm like, what the hell are you going to do with blood tubes? like if if it was a drug addict stealing needles, I get it. If it's a homeless person, they trying to take some blankets with them, I understand. I'm going to turn, if a homeless person wants to walk out with a blanket, I'm going to turn my head. I didn't see it. It walked out the door. Hospital can take that out of the 2% raise they're going to try to cheat us out of anyway, right? Whatever. But when somebody's like stealing, what the hell are you going to do with blood tubes? Like, there's no market value for them. There's nothing, you're just stealing to steal. Like, what the hell is wrong with people? Yeah, people steal everything. I got robbed. I was in Greensboro, North Carolina on a travel contract. And I used to carry a backpack into work with me. And in those days, I'd have an iPad with me when I was traveling on contract, right? And so I'd be staying at a hotel or Airbnb, or oftentimes I'd find a coworker to shack up with while I was working a contract. Usually I go in first day on the job. If I didn't have a place to stay, I'd put up a sign in the break room. It says, travel nurse, new in town, the dates I'm gonna be there, I'm clean, I'm quiet, I pay cash. If you got a basement, spare bedroom, whatever, hit me up. But in that particular assignment in Greensboro there, I was staying at a hotel. And so I didn't like leaving anything of value in the hotel when I'm gone for 12 hours at a time working at the job there. So I had my iPad. It was the only thing of value I carried with me when I was there at work. But nevertheless, I take that iPad, I put it in my backpack, and I didn't have a locker there at work or anything. Most people, most of the other nurses and stuff, we didn't use locker anyway. You just carry your bag out there, whatever nurse's station you were at, you'd stick it up under the desk, right? Well, one night I get back to the hotel, open up my backpack, gonna bust out my iPad. It ain't there. It's gone. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. Because the only people that could have stole it was other coworkers. It wasn't an area where patients could get. They can't go up there to a nurse's station when there's always people around and have time to crawl under the desk, get in your bag and look for stuff, right? Like, it was an employee that done it. And so I march my ass back down in there to work, and I go right to the security office like, hey, I need to pull the security tapes. Somebody's done robbed me. Well, guess what? They didn't have no security cameras in there. So they got off with it scot-free. Stole my iPad. They actually not only stole my iPad, I used to keep change and stuff. Like, this is a long time ago. I worked there, and this would have been 2012 maybe, 2013. It was a long time ago. So this is back when people actually still paid with cash and whatnot. So if I paid something with cash, I get pocket change, I'd stick it there in my pocket of the backpack. They took all that damn pocket change out of there too. Got my iPad and all that pocket change. And it was a damn coworker that stole. And it would have been easy for a coworker to do it. Now you'd think, well, a coworker ain't gonna steal from it, but by God, it had to be. It's the only person it could have been. And it'd been easy to do it too, because at that particular hospital, nurses had to do your own patient transports oftentimes. So you'd be off the floor for a long period of time running your admitted patients upstairs. And so if a person wanted to go through your bag, it'd be real easy to say, oh, well, Justin just took a patient upstairs. He's going to be gone for 10 minutes. I got plenty of time. Yeah, man, people steal. That's the world we live in today. There's thievery going on everywhere. So I know at some point I'm gonna get back to a boat ramp one day. My cast net, buckets, and umbrellas probably all gonna be gone. But at least with the box not being locked, hopefully they haven't damaged the box. And it's bolted onto the trailer, so they could technically steal the whole box off there, but they're gonna have to work a little harder for it, because it is bolted on from the bottom. They're gonna need some tools if they want that whole box. I don't miss the job though. That's one thing that people ask me about sometimes, especially if I run into somebody I used to work with. They're like, oh, do you miss it at all? I'm like, no, I don't. I don't miss it. I miss the adrenaline rush when you're working like a true emergency. That's what gets you into being an ER nurse to begin with. Like, that's what takes you into that specialty, is the adrenaline aspect of it. So you can't replicate that adrenaline rush. But the job itself, especially what it had turned into when I left, I don't miss it. My girlfriend, she works in human resources, so she hires and fires at her job, and she's having to, get nurses, get all their paperwork and all that ready all the time as they're constantly. It's every hospital's a revolving door of nurses and other healthcare workers and stuff. And so me and her was talking about it the other day. And I was surprised at what nurses make in Knoxville now. Like it's the wages have went way up since I was working here. And we got on conversation about it, and she's like, do you think you could still do it? I'm like, yeah, I mean, granted, I've been out of the game for 5 years now. I've been doing this YouTube crap full time for 5 years, so it's been a long time. I couldn't just go to work today and jump right back in, but I bet you I'd bounce back pretty quickly. I mean, one of the things about being a travel nurse was having the ability to adapt quickly. Like you had to walk into a new environment. Most of the time you get about 1 day orientation if you're lucky on a travel contract, and then it's like, have at it. So you learn how to adapt to an environment quickly. For me, the biggest thing would probably be just the fact that having not done it in 5 years, I've probably lost a step. You know, I'm not going to be as fast. I'm not going to be as proficient at things, and it'd probably take me a little while. I bet you it'd take me a couple weeks to a month to kind of get back to full form again. But I don't have a desire to do it. If the day comes that I need to take another job, if this YouTube crap fizzles out, which I'm sure it will at some point, I'm surprised it's lasted this long, I don't know that I want to go back. Or I may try something else. I don't know that I'd want to do it again. The reason I got into nursing to begin with, it wasn't that I was just super passionate about it. I wasn't like drawn to it. Oftentimes you talk to your coworkers or classmates when you're in school, like, what do you want to be a nurse for? Oh, I just want to help people. I've had a calling for it my whole life. I just want to take care of the sick and needy. They all got a story. And yet they are the same people that will gripe and complain all night at work about how bad they hate their job. But they'll tell you it's their calling, you know, if you ask them back. But no, for me, I was in college, I was spinning my wheels, just needed to pick a major. I needed to find something that I was going to do. Like, what am I going to do with my life? And looking around at options, and at the time, you look at nursing, and I'm like, man, this is the most amount of money for least amount of education. I mean, there ain't too many jobs, especially here in East Tennessee where I live, where you can get a 2-year degree and make that kind of money. So that's what I did. I got my 2-year degree, and I was an LPN first. I was in college, and I'd done a bunch of prerequisite classes. I needed to pick a major, so I was like, I'm going to go do nursing. Well, I couldn't get in. I couldn't get into the nursing program. I kept getting selected as alternate. It'd say you on a wait list, you're an alternate. And you go down there to the office, it's like, well, how many people's ahead of me on the list? Well, 100 and something. So I ain't really an alternate. Like there's no way in hell I'm getting in. So I went and I did LPN. I got right into that program. And I ended up working as an LPN for 5 years. Then I finally went back and got it's easier to get in once you're an LPN. You can get in the program easy then, but yeah, at the time for me, it was the most amount of money for least amount of education. And it's probably still true today. I don't know how many jobs out there that you can get in with a 2-year degree and within a couple years be making $100,000 a year, which, you know, granted around here, you're not going to work as a staff nurse and make that kind of money. But if you get out of nursing school and you go work here locally in a specialty, at least a specialty that's in demand anyway, ER, ICU, surgery, something like that, labor and delivery, get into an in-demand specialty, do it for 2 years, get you some experience, well, then you can start traveling, do travel nurse contract. And then you can make over $100,000 a year on a 2-year degree. So yeah, it's a, you know, from that aspect of it, it's nursing is a good career to get into. Now the job itself sucks. Even those do-gooders that's just have a calling to help people, most of them end up hating it too. They'll say they don't, but then like I said, they gripe and complain the whole day you're at work there. They just nonstop, everything they hate about it. But it's one of them jobs, man. You can, minimal education, you can make a nice wage, make a nice living for yourself. You can work anywhere in the country. You always have work. I don't care how bad the economy is. Times of prosperity, times of recession, you're always going to need nurses. You're always going to have a job. Travel nurse jobs may dry up if the economy's bad, but you're going to be able to find work. You always have work. Say some good things about it, but I don't miss it. And I don't know that if I got to go back to doing a job at some point, I don't know that nursing will be it. The older I've gotten, and especially being out of the real workforce the last few years, it's made me less tolerant of people. And it was all I could do to tolerate people back when I was doing the job. Getting cussed out every day, and I mean, it's just, you get the worst of the worst. But when my neighbor pissed me off there yesterday, I didn't lose my cool. I kept it together. I was very proud of myself, how I handled things. I've turned a corner, y'all. In my old age, I've turned a new leaf. I'm about to turn a new bait on here too, is what I'm about to do. We went a long time without a bite now. We've pulled up past this creek. We ain't had nothing going on, so I say we take us another shad here and see what we can do. I'm gonna switch out both of these baits. I don't know what's going on today. I was optimistic when we got bit right away. My optimism's starting to fade as we've made our way up through here. We were seeing some fish down there on the other part of this bend too. I ain't been seeing nothing on the graph as we've made our way on up. We're gonna stay the course up through here though. This bait here, I mean, hell, it looks good. We'll go ahead and switch it out just because it's been on there a good while, but it looks okay. I've used worse baits. That water, though, look how clear this water is, man. There is several feet of visibility. We may need to put these baits out a little farther behind us. Just because of the shadow we're going to be casting over these fish for sure as we go over the top of them, being a sunny day here and the time of day it is. I don't think there's any bait on this hook. I think we've been stripped clean. If it's on there, I don't feel it. Y'all done got robbed. Hell, ain't no wonder we ain't catching no fish. Y'all ain't had a bait on that hook in who knows how long. That'll do it. All right, down we go. Yeah, it'll definitely help our calls having bait on the hook. Dadgummit. Wish I'd known how long that we ain't had bait on there. I didn't think that thing's been hit in a while, but well, it obviously ain't been hit in a while because it ain't had bait on it, but I didn't think it'd been hit hard enough to rip the other bait off. Well, we got that problem resolved now. I may submit them fish on the leaderboard there in a little. I wasn't going to do it, man. This tournament, and y'all my fishing partners for the month in this slot tournament. I heard something splashing over there on the bank. I don't see it, but I heard it. Oh, right there. You see it come up in? I wonder what that was. I wonder, you know, sunny day like this, I wonder if we shouldn't be fishing up more shallow maybe. Sorry, I just hit that microphone with the camera there, y'all. If you was half awake, you woke up now after hearing that, I bet. Sorry. Got your earbuds in, ear pods, whatever you call them. I bet that rocked you. Yeah, maybe we ought to be up more shallow. Now you can second guess yourself till you're blue in the face. We'll be out that slot tournament. It's 10 fish, obviously, and I've said so many times now, but with us being 2 weeks into the month, I thought I'd be closer to my limit by now. And the fact that I'm not kind of makes me think that maybe I should post some of these other fish that were smaller than what I was going to fool with to begin with. Because no, I mean, the scoreboard right now, and I'll pull it up here for you in a second. Let me pull it up. The scoreboard, the people that are up at the top that's got a limit, their scores aren't. So right now, the leader's got 233 inches. So, and they got all 10 fish on there. So what is that? 23-inch average? Like nobody's running away with this thing. Now, we only got 3 fish listed, but it's 29.5, 29.5, and a 29. And if we can get a 7 more in that range, we're going to be in good shape. But I don't know. I thought it'd probably take, 297.5 inches is the max score that you can put up for this thing. That's a perfect score. I figured it'd probably take 295 to win, because it's got 30 people in this tournament this month, but it may not. It may not take that many. So I'm going to, let's just go ahead and submit our catch here and get that done while I'm thinking about it. Hold on, so I'm going to put this off the side a second here, folks, because I don't want you all, in case I got any other pictures on there, you ain't supposed to see. It pulls up all your pictures when you go to add photo. So that one there, let me make sure. Yeah, that was the 28.5-inch one. It's got your location on there for the GPS part of it. Of course, your picture itself has a time, date, and GPS stamp. And we'll submit that. We got 3 bars of LTE service out here. AT&T's giving us some hell of a service out here they're doing. So 2 or 3 more minutes, this thing will get uploaded. We'll submit the other one too, move up aboard. Now that one there's hitting the rod. If that's liable to rip that bait off. Tell him to leave it alone if he ain't gonna eat it. We don't want no more mishaps like we just had. He's leaving it be now. Hope he didn't get that off there. Okay, there we go. We got it. Let's see if it'll. update for us there. There it goes, and now it updated on that. So now let's go back and do the other one. Hit submit catch. I can't remember. Hold on a second. Let me look and see. I can't remember what that other fish. 27 something, wasn't it? 27 and a half, looks like. Let me just make sure our other one there was, yeah, it was 28 and a half. I knew it was 27 something. All right, there we go. I wasn't going to fool with that, but I think it's better. This late in the month, we better. Anything really, say, above 27, 28, because if nobody's going to run away with it, if the leader right now is averaging 23-inch fish, I still think in the end it'll take somebody 295 inches to win it. I mean, we could have put up the fish that we've caught so far this month and be in the lead probably, but like I said, I feel better about it if all our fish over 29 inches. Tell this thing to hurry up. There we go. Should get an email here in a second. Okay, that put us at 144, so we're still in 6th place right now. And your scores, when a tournament judge verifies your picture and everything's good, it turns green. So the fish we just submitted here are in the gray because they ain't been looked at yet. And all these other people, gray scores, that's their fish that ain't been done yet. But we got that done. Got it done, over with. Well, we'll have to try to remember to do that later. Now here's some fish again, at least. We're finally seeing something on the screen there. I don't know what them are, but at least it's some form of life. We'll pull past those fish, see if we can get anything, see if we can get one of them to bite. Then I'm gonna reel in this one on the right again. Since it did get tapped, I just wanna make sure we got bait on there. We can't be pulling around bare hooks all day and expect to catch anything. This wind, when we've come around this bend, the wind is coming perfectly downstream now. You know what that's got me wanting to do, don't you? It's got me wanting to use that wind to suspend some baits with and go right back down the area we came through. We may do that, y'all. If the bite here don't pick up dragging, we're gonna try to suspend. We'll go on that. We'll do this maybe. Let's give it like, how long have we been at this now? Been at almost an hour and a half. Let's give it another 30 minutes of dragging. And that'll put us about, what, another quarter mile up through here. We'll see how things go. And then if we're catching fish, and if we get on some fish, we'll obviously keep doing what we're doing. But if not, we'll bust out those suspending rods. And we may take a dragging rigs off these. We can suspend 4 as we come down through here. We'll put on our sucker. I feel better about running that sucker on a suspend rig as far as, because that sucker, I looked at that, man, that's a good size. I'm like, we could probably bust a flathead on that thing. But yeah, we'll maybe do that. We'll maybe drift back around this bend. Use the wind. If it stays this direction and stays this speed, like it's a very light breeze right now, it'd be perfect. I know we'd be moving perfect speed. We've had some really high winds lately. I mean, like 30, 40. We had one day come through 50-mile-an-hour winds, man. It's been something. But it is every year. I mean, it's no different this year than any other spring. It's just March and April are just windy months here. But there's been some days where I've just been completely just unable to do anything on the water. Some of my channel members videos people can comment on. So I'm able to interact with them. And some of them been wanting me to do some ultralight videos, which I've been wanting to do too. Like, I've been wanting to do some ultralight fishing. Like, I'm jonesing for it, man, just to get like a full day of it. I've done it a little bit here and there on bait runs, just taking my ultralight rod out. But the wind's been so much, you got to be really protected in areas to be able to throw the ultralight. I'd like to have me a day where I can just go ultralight fish. Go where I want and do what I want. And I ain't been able to. But I'm hoping we can get some relief from this wind soon and be able to go out there and catch us whatever the hell we can catch. I miss it. I ain't had a good day of ultralight fishing, like a full day, since I left Florida. That was back in January. Something tapped us there on the left. Give it a little love tap, but he's gone. Let's reel in this one on the right here again, make sure our bait's still on there. Since it got hit, I want to make sure it's still there, and I want to make sure it ain't foul hooked. That would actually be better too if we did drift today. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, it's still on there and still hooked good. We wasted time reeling that in to check, but sure enough, if we hadn't have checked it, it wouldn't have been nothing on the hook. But that would be good if we could drift our way back down toward the car. That would save me time versus going another 2+ hours in this direction. Although, I mean, with this being a river bend, I would obviously save time by being able to drive straight across. I wouldn't follow the outside bend all the way back. I'd try to do a straight line as the crow flies best I could, cutting across and all. But yeah, man, I'm ready to catch some fish. I'm ready to reel something in. I'm ready to have a day where, maybe that's why I want to ultralight fish so damn bad. I want a day where I can go out and catch 100 fish. And that's realistic. When you have an ultralight rod and some small jigs, I use the gulp minnows, use whatever small plastic bait you want. But you can go out and have you a day, you catch 100+ fish. I've had days where I've filmed like 4-hour videos and caught 100 fish. A lot of them's bluegill, but still, man, when you feel the thump, that's what it's all about when you're ultralight fishing. I'm looking forward to it. Tomorrow is going to be one of them days where it's super windy again. I had thought maybe I might try it in the morning before the wind kicks up if we got bait left over today. Even if it's just a quick trip somewhere, just to try to help this tournament score since I'm doing so poorly right now. I knew today, coming down here, we would see a lot of boat traffic, but I was kind of hoping with us fishing this bend, I thought like the bass fishermen, that's what you see most of here on Chickamauga, because this is a pretty well-known lake or reservoir for bass fishing. There's a lot of big bass. They've got that Florida, some kind of Florida strain bass that they stock in here, so they get a little bigger. And because of that, it gets a lot more pressure than some of the other bodies of water around here. So I knew we'd see a bunch of bass fishermen, but I figured they would be back in the creeks, in the shallows. We'd have this kind of outside bend here to ourselves. And when I've been catching catfish lately, dragging, I've been doing the best in places that are shallower areas. I've been some creeks and some flats that are 20, 30 feet deep range. I knew this bend was going to be in the 30s. With our water level's up right now. It's up much higher than it typically would be this time of year. Normally this time of year, our water's down 6 to 8 feet. There's a fish. He was tugging on that head. Oh, dinkity-doo-dah. But normally we're still down for winter drawdown, but they is moving all that water through from them rains, and so our water level's back up. We're summer pool right now. Normally they don't raise us up till May, middle of May. But I knew we'd be somewhere in the 30s on this river bend, which is kind of in that depth where I've been getting fish back home lately. I thought, hell, I'm gonna come try it. Nice day. I have nothing else to do today. I stopped yesterday on my way back from getting bait, and visited with my parents a little bit, and fixed their, as some of y'all out there may experience the same thing. As your parents start getting a little older, technology leaves them behind, and you become their Google. And instead of asking Google how to fix something, or how to set up a new router, how to set up a new printer, they call you. So, my parents recently got a new router. They live out in the woods, and so they don't have good internet, but they got the AT&T Air internet, which still ain't no good, but better than what they had. And they hook up, they get it hooked up and going. And apparently their printers that they had for their computers ain't compatible with the new internet, so they had to get new printer. So I had to go down there and set that up yesterday, but anyway, I got that done. And so today was just kind of wide open for me to do whatever I wanted today. And so I'm gonna take a drive. I'm gonna go down to Chickamauga and see what I can get into down here, if anything. I got to say, right now I'm sitting here a little disappointed that I've driven this far and we've only got 2 small fish. Both of them came in the first hour. Hell, the last hour here, we ain't hardly got anything. A couple taps here and there. Which, I mean, that kind of thing's not uncommon when you're ledge fishing. Like, you're gonna have long periods of time, sometimes, where you're just not around fish. And then you'll go through a school of them and you'll have rods going down for a little while. Like, that happens. But we were seeing fish down there. You know, when we were getting bit there first thing, we were seeing fish down there toward the bottom of this. I ain't been seeing as much as we made our way up through here. I'm really wanting to suspend, y'all. I'm about to talk myself into it. I'm fighting the urge, man. I wanna... Let's do it. Well, y'all, I can't not do it, y'all. We've been at this almost 2 hours and we ain't got but 2 bites. I've done talked myself into it because I want to do it. It's in one of them situations. Here I am talking about like trying to do what the fish want and not force my will on them, but I want to suspend fish today. I'm in the mood for it. So let's just do it. Let's get us some Let's get us some other baits ready here. I want to put on that sucker, I think. I can't help myself. That right there, man. that is a winning bait right there. I like me some sucker. I want that head on there as one of them baits. I'm gonna put a chunk on the other. We may be about to, I think that might be hooked up, y'all. I think he is hooked up. All right, here I was about to switch everything over. Now we're getting bit. Let's reel in another one. This in here don't feel much bigger than what the other two fish that we got felt like, though. It's another bite, though, nonetheless, man. Like I said, I'm ready to reel in some fish today, man. Nice day, it's beautiful. I want to catch some dang fish. This one ain't very big, but he's at least spry for his size. He's pulling of everything he's got. Another thing too, with us having so much line out right now, because the water's so clear and all, that may be a factor today too. Is that a channel cat? Well, we definitely need to mix things up. Yeah, this right here. Quit acting that way. You're gonna get me sopping wet. Danged old channel cat, man. It's definitely time to mix things up, folks. That's the sign I needed. I thought this fish was gonna talk me out of suspending, but if we're catching channel cats, it's time to mix things up. I ain't putting him on the board. I know he ain't no good. Okay. All right. We're going to hit that spot lock right there. There we go. Let me fix my rod holders around here. I'm gonna reconfigure some things. And I think what we're gonna do, we're gonna get these two baits on, and then we'll switch out these dragging rigs. I'll tie on some more suspend rigs once we get these other baits out. Our suspend rigs here, if you're new to my channel, thanks for sticking with us here these last 2 hours while we ain't doing worth of crap. But 8-ounce egg sinker, regular swivel, 80-pound monofilament, same 10-aught size circle hook as we use on our dragging rig, but we've got a tag line here that goes down to a bait stalker fly from Catfish Sumo. And what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go up under this gill plate here of the sucker and come right out that nose, right there between the nostrils, I should say. And we're gonna drop it straight down to the bottom. Once that sinker hits, we're gonna reel our rod tip down and raise it up. Look right here, we're setting still, and that dragging rig's got one on. He's hooked up too. He's pulling, buddy. Oh, look at that. That's a better fish right there, I think. Well, how far, folks, is it possible we need to be setting still? I'd hit the spot lock, that bait's just sitting there. You know, last year, or the year before, whenever it was for the tournament, y'all can go back and review that footage. I started out dragging, and I ended up anchoring. And that's what got it done. But I didn't think that would be the case today because of lately just doing so good dragging. I think what we'll probably do is switch over at least one of these dragging rigs to a suspend rig and put on another type of bait. Well, I want to use 2 pieces of sucker and probably make sure we got at least 1 piece of shad on there, because shad's been doing so good for us. Okay, now this one here we're going to put on our board. He's at least a blue cat, which we can score channels for our tournament, but that last channel was so small we wasn't going to be scoring him. Here's what I want to do. Let's leave him setting in the rod holder a minute while I get this other one baited. This rig here, it's the same one that I just showed you on the other dragging rig. I've hit my clicker. My clicker's still on, there we go. And these flies, they make a lot of different colors of them. I've kind of took a liking to the goldfish pattern. That's where I've caught my biggest and most fish with, but I don't know that color really makes a difference at all. Might do so in these clearer water conditions more so than others, but I've caught a lot of fish on them flies the last few years since my friend Dewey put me on them. Let's send it down. Here, let me do this right quick too. Let me switch that rod holder over. All right, now let's send it down, then we'll land our other fish there. Yeah, it's interesting. We were just sitting still, and that thing just took off with it. We will definitely throw him on our board here. He's going to be one that I think I think he'll be the biggest of the ones we've got today so far. I think, just by eyeballing him, I maybe have the big eye. Lord, I got my dang trolling motor remote wrapped around my line. Now let's get this rod out of the way. All right, put your fish up here on the board. Will you lay there and be still for us, Blue Kitty? Thanks, buddy. No, we'll go ahead and score him. He's 28 inches. But we'll at least do what we're doing here and get a picture of him. Okay. There we go. Well, Blue Kitty, thank you, buddy. I'd like you better if you had been 1 3/4 inches bigger. But we got to take what we can get today. All right. Let's get in our hatch here. We'll bust out another rig or 2. I think, let me just do 1 for now. Well, let me do 1 rig for now, because we may end up at some point, if we find some fish down through here, we may spot lock, and then I may throw out that other dragging rig and have it out just like we had that one where we were just sitting still. And it'll give us an option at least if we leave one of them tied on. It's always good to have options. Yeah, let's do this. And once we get this tied on, I'm gonna come off spot lock and we'll get on the move. Found me another red sinker I had painted a long time ago, y'all. We'll have people curious as hell about that red sinker. Back when I had comments on this channel, new people would come across my videos and they'd comment, what is it about the red sinker? And it would boost my engagement. That was before I realized that comments didn't really matter for much as far as getting your videos pushed more by YouTube, but it did accomplish the goal at the time of getting more comments. But I ain't painted any in a long time, but I found that one in my shed that I had done forever ago. And I said, you know, for nostalgia's sake, let's put that thing in the kayak and we'll put it to use. Let's take one of these shiners here, why don't we? We'll take the body section of it maybe first. A nice big chunk of that. Big as it can be anyway on that small of a shiner. Let's put our bait here back in the cooler on the ice. Now, me and you gonna just drift for a little while. Right, are you there? We're back in the game, folks. 10 years of doing YouTube, and I can't remember to plug a damn battery pack into a camera. We lost our battery there, so anyway, we back in the game now. Let's drop this bait down. Now we got a new battery in here, so here's that piece of shiner going down. We'll put it here on the back rod, and then we're gonna get on the move. I can't, 10 years of doing YouTube, and I can't remember to operate my camera equipment properly. Always something, man. Always, let me make sure this damn thing's got there, okay. Got the little plus symbol that it's working right. All right. Now let's come off spot lock. I don't know how I've made it this long on YouTube, folks. I don't know how I've done it. You know what I should have done before I turned the camera back on after changing batteries? I should have blew my nose. It's still right here, prime allergy season. I gotta clean out my nostrils. I should have done that off camera. But, missed opportunity. I don't remember what I was talking about either. I can't remember. Oh, well, our dragon rig, we got it sitting here. Let's get it out of the way. One of the things that, I've talked about this in some recent videos, these inline dragging sinkers have been something new I've been playing with the last couple months, and I really liked them in the beginning, and then I went through a stretch. I lost 3 in 2 trips. I was kind of frustrated with them. But one of the things I do like about them is the fact that I can roll them up and store them compactly. I don't have to take the sinker on and off my line when I'm done fishing at the end of the day. And you know, the sinkers themselves obviously being able to be real flexible. I can just put all this right here in a sandwich baggie, stick it in my hatch, and be ready to go. I'm not going to do that right now because this is still wet. I'd like for it to dry out first, but that's one of the positives of these things. And you know, another positive of them, I'll say this. We've pulled through this area today, which is Snag City. I mean, I remember when I was here before trying to drag through it, and it was just it was an ordeal. But we didn't have any issues today dragging up through here. So I'll give them credit for that. But I still don't know if I'm gonna buy any more. Whenever I lose the last of these, I don't know if I'll buy any more of them or not. Guess we'll see how long it takes me to lose them. If I go the rest of the year and don't burn through what I got, maybe I'll buy some more. If I go through these pretty quickly, I probably won't. Just because they're so expensive. If they were cheaper, I'd buy more. But they're over $5 a piece, and you factor in shipping, and it works out even more than that. It's just a lot of money. On my other ones that I make myself, of course, I got a bunch of them in my shed, because when I'd bought supplies to make them the last time, I made really a lifetime supply. But I mean, I don't know with today's material cost, but back then I could make them for around $2 a piece. So you figure after shipping, these other sinkers are closer to $6. Triple the cost of what the ones I make myself run. Like, they better be 3 times better. And I don't know that they're 3 times better than what I'm using, based on the experience I've had thus far. But I'm never opposed to trying new things if I think it'll benefit me or help me or give me an edge somehow. Like, I'm willing to. And I love the concept of them. Like, there's a different design over whatever else is on the market and that I've made myself and stuff. Like, it's different. I'll give a new concept a chance. And I've caught a bunch of fish with them. Like, they're effective. But I do think that when they get snagged up, when you do get not necessarily the sinker hung, because the sinker rarely gets hung on a dragging rig. It's almost always your hook. I think you got less chance of getting the rig back with these inline ones than you do with basically any of the 3-way style, where you've got it on a 3-way swivel and you can sit there and pop it and let that thing pound on your. There was another big splash. I wonder if that's carp. It's right up on the bank. I wonder if that's carp. There's a little island over here to our left. It's a thin island, but it gets real shallow over there, and I'm wondering if that ain't carp up there in the shallows. One thing it is going to have to change with what we're doing, like right here, we're going to go ahead and raise our baits up a little bit. When we're dragging baits, one of the nice things about dragging is that your lines are out. It's kind of a set it and forget it mentality, because you're just bringing your rigs along the bottom. When you are suspend fishing, you have got to watch your depth. As the depth changes, you have to change with it. You either got to raise your baits up, like right now as we're getting shallower, and there's some fish right there. Look at all that we're coming up on. Look at all that. That's several fish. But as the water gets shallower, we got to bring our baits up. As it gets deeper, we got to lower them down. We have to compensate for the depth. Let me just spot lock a second around them fish. That's several fish right there. I don't know what they are, but several marks. Let's just sit right there on them. See if they're interested. The wind is blowing perfectly downstream. Perfect speed to have us moving half a mile-ish an hour. We're really set up to drift, but when we see fish like that on the screen, I want to that's a perk of having spot lock, man. Just push a button and you're instantly anchored. So if you actually had an anchor, a physical anchor, and you seen that and you tried to drop down, you'd probably spook them fish when you're dropping a heavy anchor right on their head. It'd be nice if these boats would quit going by. That way we wouldn't be rocking up and down. We get rid of one, here come another. That one right there is hitting and getting it, buddy. He's got places to go. We ain't seen the boat yet. It's got stickers on the side of it. Ain't none of them today been professionals. There's all amateurs out here today. But this this style of fishing, man, I find it to be incredibly fun. Just because of the short distance of line you have out between your rod tip and your bait. Right now, we've got about 32 feet of line max. So when we get bit, it's going to be an intense battle. But suspend fishing like this, it ain't the best technique all the time. And there's a couple situations in particular where it's really not good. One is if the water's real choppy, whether it be from a bunch of boat wake or windy conditions. If you're bouncing up and down nonstop, you're going to have a hard time getting bit. You want it to be fairly calm. I'm going to come off spot lock now. The other situation I don't do as well is if you're fishing shallower conditions, and first off, I don't like suspend fishing if we're less than 20 feet deep. You can catch fish shallower than that, but I typically like 20 feet or more of depth. That's just my personal preference, my experience. But the other situation where I don't do as well, we got hit. That was a thump, buddy. Is that a flathead? Is that a flathead on our shiner? That was a flathead and a slow takedown. This may be a flathead. That was a thump and a rod tip just, that's what I love, man. That's what I love about suspend fishing right there. That's what I love, man. Let's hit that spot lock again. Could this be a flathead? I felt it, just go bump. It's not, it's a blue. Boy, he's all wrapped up in that line too. He's gonna be a mess okay, there he comes. I thought he was all wrapped up in. That bite. Y'all, you heard me. I was excited. I thought we had us a flathead. He was a tease. This blue cat was a tease. Because I felt it, you just go bump, and the rod tip just the tease, blue kitty. I wish you'd come off just so we could have had the flathead that got away. I'd have told everybody to use a flathead. Actually, I'm glad you didn't come off because I need to put you on that measuring board. I take that back. I recant that previous statement. Y'all grab your fish and get him on the measuring board here. That's fun though, man. That you don't feel that chunk, that thump when they inhale the bait. Like you don't feel that when you're dragging because you've got so much line out. Or even when you're, I'm gonna have to bring this fish in like this. So he won't open up. Even when you're like anchored and casting out, you don't get that, because like you've just got too much line out. You gotta have a shorter distance of line to be able to feel them really just inhale it. But this guy here, buddy, he did inhale it. Like he legit, I felt the bump. He's definitely one we've got to throw on that board to see how close he will be to 30 inches. He didn't care that this water's super clear, did you, Blue Kitty? He didn't care at all. Oh, y'all, this one here. Boy, that one there, folks, he's right there, just shy of 30 inches, man. Let me get this one right here. I think he's gonna be perfect for us. You know what? Well, I'll get my phone. This one here, set him back down here on the floor a second, folks. Don't let him move while I get my phone. Don't let him move there, folks. Here, let me set him back up. Let me set him back up here. Now that we got the phone ready, I was so afraid he's going, that one right there, we don't want him flopping off. You know what I mean? We don't want that and flopping off. Goodness gracious, he's right there on it, man. Oh, buddy, that one. Let me just get a few more pictures, make sure. Yeah, buddy. Oh, y'all. Yes, man. You know what I need to do? I need to get my... That fish is being so cooperative. I need to get in here and get my cameraman on, and I'll give this one. This fish here, I'll give him some front camera time. Y'all sit up there, would you? Take a picture of me and this fish. He ain't front camera worthy, but he is today since he's so dang close to this line. Let me just make sure my pictures are good on that. I got my winter tints on here. I can't half see these polarized glasses. Boy, he's close. They're probably not gonna take this fish, y'all, because he's so dang close. I need to take a picture, or a video, I should say, for Mike, our tournament director, and manipulate the tail to show that it don't go. Well, crap, when I manipulate it, it does go over. Crap, y'all. Crap. I can't submit this fish. He's too, let me show you. This fish ain't getting a picture with me now. When you manipulate his tail, well, I mean, golly bum, it's so close. I mean, it's barely touching 30 inches. But if you manipulate it, if you go by the letter of the law and try to get maximum value out of this fish, golly bum, I mean, it's just barely. I don't know, does it touch? Well, the fish, I moved the whole fish then, but golly bum, that is so close. It's so close, I'm not going to score it. You know, with me having this, if it was any other type of situation, I'd probably try to chance it and just take a picture, or I mean, take a video of me manipulating the tail. But it's so close, and me having the YouTube channel, somebody will try to accuse me of cheating. It ain't worth it. I'm gonna throw him back. But golly bum, I mean, it's a hair between it, but it's too, I'm not gonna fool with it. I'm gonna throw him back. You ain't getting no picture with me now, fish, I'll tell you that. I was gonna hold you up and give you front camera time, just because I was so excited about you. Not now. And he bled on my board too. Dadgummit. Dang, man. I thought we had us a perfect score. It's hard to get a perfect score fish. It really is. Because they gotta be between 29 3/4 without touching that 30-inch line. They touch that 30-inch, if they just graze it, then it's considered over slot for our tournament. And you know, the pictures I took they were good, but I'm sitting there looking at that fish and I'm like, man, if I just manipulate that tail a little bit, I can maybe make him touch it, and it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. He's so close to it, like, undoubtedly somebody would challenge it, and then I just don't, man, I don't want to be, there ain't enough money in this tournament to, I don't care how much money in the tournament is, I ain't gonna risk my reputation over anything. But especially in a tournament like this, and a slot tournament, like, it just ain't worth the risk, man, of even turning that fish in to let the tournament judge decide. It ain't worth it. I just don't want to, you know, when you got, and this is bad to say this, but like when you got a little bit of a following, YouTube channel like I do, even a rumor, an accusation of trying to cheat or trying to, you know, do anything that's not within the rules or the laws, that can be damaging to the business, you know? So, I mean, situation like that, it's so close, it's better to just let it go. That's why I like our other formats, tournaments better, where we're trying to get the biggest fish, because then you don't have to worry about things like that. As long as it touches a line, that's what you get. Now, like that fish there, if we were in a length tournament where we're trying to get maximum length, he would definitely be 29 3/4 inches. He would definitely be scored for that, because I couldn't verify that he was touching 30 inches. But in this situation, yeah, I just ain't going to fool with it. Dang, though, we were so close, man. We were so close to having a perfect score. It's hard to get those fish, though. Like, you got to catch a bunch of fish, and you gotta just hope that they didn't eat their spinach that day. They didn't eat their breakfast. But like I said, with the scores that we've currently got on the scoreboard, I mean, the leader's only averaging a 23-inch average. So it may not take as big a score as what I thought it was going to take to win. There's still a lot of time left, though. We still got over 2 weeks left for people to fish. A lot of them people in the tournament, it's a live leaderboard, so as you score your fish, everybody can see them. But there's a lot of people that's in a tournament that ain't scored fish yet. And who knows if maybe they've got fish and they're just sitting on them, waiting until the end to post them or something. That could be it too. Could be we call it sandbagging, when you wait till the end, post your fish. Bottom line is, you want to try to put up the best score you can. Don't play the field, play the max score. Don't just look at your competition and say, oh, well, they're not doing very good. I can slack ass. You know, you need to put up the best score you can. In this situation, 297.5 inches is the best score, so that's what you need to get close to. I'm gonna look at them pictures though. Golly bum, it's close, man. Look at that. You zoom in right there, it's so close. But you manipulate that tail. I mean, the tail's straight. It's straight on the fish. But you manipulate it, it gets even closer. You know what I do need to do, though? I need to submit that other, was it 28? Was it 28 inches? What was that other fish? Let me delete those a second. We had another one we needed to submit. There it is. What was it? It was 28 inches. That one we can definitely submit. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that while I'm thinking about it. Golly bum, that was so close, man. 28. Let me turn around this. Bear with me a second here, folks. Oh, I put the wrong one on there. Hold on, I gotta do it again. Okay. Now I got the right picture on there. 28. Yeah, I just don't want anybody accusing me of trying to, I mean, obviously I want to win, but when it's a situation that could go either way, when it's that close, I've got to just let it go because of having this channel and all that. Like, I gotta let it go. I just don't want any potential accusations, and it just ain't good for business. Damn cell service. Okay, there it goes. I think we was gonna get this thing uploaded. There it is. Let's see where we're at now. Okay, that moved us up to 5th place right there. So we've got 6 out of our 10 fish submitted now. So 172 divided by 6, that gives us an average of 28.66 inches per fish. So our average is pretty good right now. Needs to be better though. We just need some more fish. I was talking about suspending baits. I gotta put my buff on too, y'all. I'm gonna have another sunburn on my head. Burn me through the mesh in my hat. Suspending baits, I think I mentioned there, I don't like it when it was real choppy. If you're out in real windy conditions or on a real busy boat wake day, bouncing up and down, you're gonna have a hard time suspending baits. Well, a hard time getting bit, I should say. The other situation I don't really like is when the water's real clear. If water's real clear like it is here and you got the sun right on top of you beating down, you're putting off a shadow. Even in this depth, 35 feet, I promise you them fish know that we're right on top of them. And I think that sometimes can limit your bite. Now, the deeper you are, the less important that is. But I do think it can play a role in getting reduced bites. But I mean, that fish there certainly didn't care. We'll keep an eye. We know there's some fish here. I mean, we've seen them on the graph, and we've got a few fish now coming up through here. So we'll drift back down and see what we do. What did we get? We got three dragon and 1 on the dragon rig while we were setting still, and then that one's suspended. So 5 fish now. And as far as working it, like, we're going to try to hug this edge again, going down through here like we did before. Now, water temperature, as the sun's, it's beat down, it's warmed things up a little bit, and there's some more marks right there. I'd like to see one of them sucker pieces up front here go down, though. If one of them gets eaten, it's probably going to be a good fish. So we basically got 2 big fish baits out right now, and then this 3rd rod over here we've got smaller. I think I put a piece of gizzard shad on it then. Work on some smaller fish maybe. But the wind right now, between the wind and what little water they're moving, man, we're moving 0.4. This is perfect. But the only thing I'd change out here right now is just either dirty up the water just a little bit more or put some clouds in the sky, just so we wouldn't be casting such a big shadow down there. And you can make an argument whether or not that really matters. There was some study done, and I forget who done it. I come across it online. But one of the things they found was with blue cats, if a shadow, they had them in a tank, and if a shadow went over top, they would hide. Like, they would go in something and hide, like it scared them. Now, it could have just been because those were small fish, and smaller fish are certainly, if a shadow comes over them, it could be a bird about to swoop down and get them. I mean, instinctually, that should be in their DNA to just know that shadows are bad. When a fish gets bigger, a bird can fly around all they want to. Even a big osprey or an eagle ain't going to get a 20-pound catfish or bigger. They're not, even if they sink their claws into it, they're not going to get it. They're looking for smaller fish. So I don't know, maybe over time when a catfish gets bigger to the point that it don't really have any predators, maybe it's not as wary of shadows going over it. I don't, that's one of the things I don't know. We don't really know what fish think or what they feel or if they think or feel anything. We don't know. I do think they're more perceptive about their environment than what we give them credit for. I've proven that to be true. I mean, I've caught fish that are 100 feet deep on them flies under my suspend rigs. And I promise you, I don't care how clear the water is, at 100 feet deep, there ain't no light penetration down there. Them fish are just in darkness. But they've still been able to pick up on them flies being on the rigs. And so that tells me that they know what's going on around them. They can sense it. And that may have something to do with like their lateral line, being able to feel. I don't, obviously don't, people smarter than me, way smarter than me, scientists and stuff, biologists, they can speculate as far as how those lateral lines affect fish, what they're able to sense and feel and detect and all that, but nobody truly knows. I mean, you can't put yourself in a fish's body and know what it is that they feel or experience or whatever. We can only speculate. So we don't really know anything when you get right down to it. All you can do is put your baits on good structure and do it as often as you can. And if you do that, regardless of what technique you're using, what bait you're using, what rigs, what fishing poles, if you just get your baits on good structure and do it many hours as you can, that's gonna get you bit more than anything. You can overthink it all you want to, weather, water, barometric pressure, all that stuff. Like, you can overthink a lot of stuff. But if you just consistently go out and put your baits where fish should be, you're going to get bit. Maybe not every day, but you're going to get bit. It's going to pay off for you in the long run. And I'm hoping it pays off for us today, drifting around this bend here. I gotta get me another swig here, folks. Bear with me. I'll tell you this too, speaking of swig, there's a restaurant, well, it ain't a restaurant. What would you call it? There's a place called Swig over in Maryville, Tennessee. And I think it's actually part of a chain of, they're not really restaurants. All they do is serve drinks. They serve like Coca-Colas with various flavors in them. But one of the drinks they have over there, it's what I got when I went there. It was an iced hot chocolate. And it was basically a cold hot chocolate with some strawberry puree in it. And it was really good. Overpriced, but very good. The girlfriend drugged me over. She wanted to go. Try it out. Apparently it's a big deal. I don't know, honestly, I don't know how the place stays in business. And it may not stay in business very long. But, because they don't sell food. It's just Coca-Colas with flavoring in it. And other drinks like that with flavoring in it. Like that's all they have. You think they have something to eat while you're there too, but they don't. It's nothing like that. We gotta raise these baits up. But anyway, the other day, I'd had one of them months ago. And the other day, I had a hankering. Maybe I don't need to raise these baits up. it come up there. I thought we needed to change some stuff, but maybe we didn't. Let me check this back one. Oh, it's good too. I had a hankering for some chocolate milk the other day, and I ain't had chocolate milk in a long time. I'd kind of gotten away from drinking milk altogether. I mean, when you think about it, like we're drinking cow hormones, you stop and think about it, it's like, oh, I don't want to drink no milk. But then, for whatever reason, I've been on a milk kick again. So I wanted some chocolate milk, so I got some Mayfield's brand chocolate milk. And I was sitting there and enjoying a glass of it. And I'm like, I know what this is, that sweet. This tastes just like that iced hot chocolate, which I know doesn't even sound right, like iced hot chocolate. It's cold, it's a cold drink. But like it tastes exactly the same as Mayfield's chocolate milk. So I've been on a chocolate milk kick lately. I've been better about not drinking as many Pepsis. I barely have a Pepsi anymore. Maybe 1 or 2 a month. But I'm probably drinking so much chocolate milk the past week, I've made up for all the difference in sugar that I've saved by not having the Pepsi. One's as bad as the other. I did get me some regular milk too, though. I don't know why I've been on this milk kick lately. I don't know. Like I went a long time without drinking milk. But I've been back on it. You never know what to believe. For the longest time, we were told milk was good for us. And then, maybe it wasn't. Who knows? And I'll tell you another thing that kind of ruined me from drinking milk. And I'd kind of been off the milk before then. But 2 or 3 years ago, I guess, I can't remember exactly how long it's been, but me and my girlfriend went down to the Sweetwater Valley Farm. And it's a farm, it's a dairy farm. Look right here, we've come across some more fish right here. Let's spot lock again for a second here while we're on top of them things. You see them right there? 1, 2, 3 marks. Let's just sit here. Let's sit here a second. See if anything happens. Well, I'll tell you about a dairy farm I went to. So down there, Sweetwater Valley Farm, you can tour. It's a dairy farm, a working, functioning dairy farm. And they do tours. And they've got like a little gift shop, and they've got a restaurant in there. And the restaurant was really good. Like they've got it's like seed to table or something like that. Like the cheese, I got a grilled cheese down there, and the cheese was made from the cows there on the farm or whatever. But it was really good. But anyway, you go down there and you tour the gift shop and have lunch at the restaurant, and then you can tour the farm. They've got guides that take you around, tell you about the dairy farming process, and show you the cows and how they get the milk, and it's pretty sophisticated. It ain't like when you think about old MacDonald had a farm and he's out there sitting on a little stool milking a cow. It ain't like that, man. It's all machinery now. And it's pretty high tech, actually. But nevertheless, you out there, you walk around that farm and you look at them cows, and they're all in there, flies all over everything. Now, granted, the milk's, it's coming out. The milk, the machines hook up to the cows, and the milk, everything's all that process is okay. But nevertheless, you out there, you look at them cows and whatnot, and it's like, we're drinking the milk out of that cow, really? Like that? It's one thing when you're having a glass of milk or bowl of cereal or something with milk in it, and you're just going about your day, you ain't thinking about it. But when you actually see the cow that the milk is coming out of, it's like, why? what was it about early humanity that said, you know what, we're thirsty. Let's drink the milk out of a cow. And early humans, like what other animals did they try to drink the milk out of before they settled on a cow? Like it's just, I mean, the early humans, and of course this was back before things were pasteurized and all that, where it was really old MacDonald had a farm and he's sitting there on a little stool milking a cow into a metal bucket. And they taking that milk and drinking it like that. Like that's where humans and this cow milk obsession came from. Like literally drinking the milk straight out the cow. I mean, it's pretty disgusting when I think it is anyway. And here, I mean, I'm drinking milk again, but I think it's pretty disgusting. I mean, humans, well, I can't even say that. I was going to say, you know, you stop breastfeeding when a baby's a little bit bigger, but hell, there's some of these weirdos that breastfeed their kids till they're 4 or 5 years old. You see internet stories about them. Breastfeeding kids are 4 or 5 years old, man. There's some weirdos out there. You just never know people. We watched a documentary it's a documentary series, but we watched the whole thing in one sitting. It's 3 episodes on Netflix. I forget the name of the documentary series, but it's about kid influencers. And it's about, well, this documentary was about one kid influencer in particular. And I had never heard of her before this documentary, but she's got millions of followers. And her mama had basically been promoting her on social media since she was a small child, all the way up through now. I think she's a teenager now. And she had brought in some of her friends and other stuff too into these videos. She has a big YouTube channel and other social media platforms and stuff. And the documentary was about this particular girl, and they had declined to be interviewed for it, the mom and this particular girl. But all of the people who had sued them, who had been in their videos and been kicked off of their YouTube channel and publicly humiliated and stuff, had sued them. And now they were doing a documentary tell-all type thing about their experiences, which, yeah, it's a one-sided story. Like, you know, there's the old saying, there's 2 sides to every story, and then the truth lies somewhere in the middle. We got one side of this story. But some of the stuff that you can just know is factual, like the number of views this little girl was getting and how much money she was making as a small child, like that stuff is factual. Like you can look that up. You can see, okay, her videos are 15 minutes long and she's getting 5 million views a video. Like you can do the math on that as a content creator. You can do the math and like, okay, well, she's making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. Well, her mother's making, I mean, if she's 10 years old, how much money is that she getting? You know, her mother's taking the money. Which, I mean, you can make an argument that she should be making the money. I mean, her mother is doing the filming, the editing, all that. Well, they had another guy, I guess her mom's boyfriend. So the whole thing was weird. At least if the stories are true that these people were telling. But the gist of it was, when you got to episode 3 of this, and what it kind of come out in the end, at least what they were accusing this woman of, who knows if it's true or not, that the woman was kind of a pervert toward these kids. Like she was pushing them to do more adult things on video, as far as how they were acting and dressing. And I looked up this girl's Instagram while we were sitting there watching the program. Her name's Piper or something. I done forgot it, but you probably know who I'm talking about because she's apparently famous. I mean, she's got millions of followers. But I'm looking up her Instagram, and she's still underage, but hell, her mama's got pictures of her on there. And these little skimpy bikinis, like very inappropriate for a girl that age. And I know I'm old man yelling at clouds here. I mean, all these kids today are walking around half dressed, and you can't tell. These kids today, some of them look older than they are. I mean, when I was a kid, a 13-year-old boy or girl looked like a 13-year-old boy or girl. Nowadays, some of these girls, they might be 13, 14 years old, but they're a little bit more developed, and they wear skimpy clothes and put on a bunch of makeup, and they make themselves look older than they are. But this girl, her mama, running her Instagram accounts, putting all kinds of scantily clad photos of her on there. And these people in the documentary was accusing, well, I don't know if it was accusing, but they were telling stories about how she was selling that girl's underwear to people. And like, yeah, the whole thing was just weird. And of course, they're on there, these other parents that are in the documentary, they're crying their eyes out, like, oh, we just didn't know this was going on. And it's like, you not watching the videos that your kids are being a part of? Like, I know this other woman and her boyfriend's editing the video, but like, you don't watch, you just go drop your kids off and you ain't watching the videos that they're putting out. But, you know, they've all got blinded by the money. I mean, they're making, when you're getting that many views, like you're getting, those kids are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. Like it's hard to imagine. It's hard to put your mind around how much money can be made on social media. But if you can get those kind of views, you can get that just on ad revenue. And plus, when you get that many views, and what these kids were doing was getting brand deals on top of that. So they're getting not only their ad revenue, but then they're getting money from companies that are paying to kind of either be featured on their videos or have their products promoted on the videos. Plus they're doing other things as well, like possibly even selling the damn underwear like that woman was accused of doing. So they're just making money hand over fist. And let's be real, there's some enjoyment to that. There's some addiction to that. You can get addicted to making that kind of money. Because, I mean, what else are you going to do? Like, that girl, and one of the things they were saying in this documentary was that girl had never been to school before. Like, her mama didn't put her in public school. She wasn't doing, like, homeschooling. She was just not doing any schooling. But it's like, well, who cares? What are you going to learn in school? What kind of knowledge or skill are you going to learn in school that's ever going to come close to replicating the money she's making doing what she's doing? That'd be one thing if she wasn't successful at it. But like, right from the start, they were making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. Like you add up how many views they've got, they've made millions of dollars. And that's just what we know about in ad revenue. Who knows how much more they've made in brand deals and sponsorships and affiliate sales and all of that. Like, they're multimillionaires. I mean, to me, and I ain't telling you kids out there drop out of school and go be a YouTuber or nothing. I ain't saying that at all. But what I am saying is maybe the public school system as it currently exists is supposed to educate us and prepare us to be working class adults. And in this modern world we live in, I don't know that school really adequately prepares you anymore. I mean, you waste so much time in school you do need to know how to do basic math. You need to know how to read. You need to know how to write. You need to know how to spell. Even though we got spell check on every phone now, you need to know how to spell. You need some proper grammar. Quit talking in emojis, kids. Put some punctuation in your text messages. Don't do a word salad on there. You need some basic knowledge. But I mean, how much more do you need than that? Unless you're super into math and you're going to be some kind of scientist, do you really need anything more than basic arithmetic? I mean, I went all the way up through like pre-calculus when I was younger, and I ain't never done any algebra or calculus again as an adult. Not one time. Not one stinking time. So why waste time on it? It ain't like it's something I'm into or passionate about. I never was. Like, school should be used to train you for the real world, to make money, to support yourself and your family. Any class you take, unless it's just something that you're into, that you enjoy, but let's be real, most of the school me and you both went to, most of the classes, we weren't into at all. Very little of it. And so I'm not going to knock this woman on the documentary for not making her kid go to school when they're making millions of dollars a year. Like, what is it that she's going to get out of that education that's going to replace what she's doing already? Now you can say, well, Justin, but there's more to school than just the education. It's the social aspect of it. It's interacting with people, social skills, people skills. You can certainly argue that, and I get it. And if this girl was being held in isolation, I would totally agree with you. We've come across some more fish right here, folks. Look right here above this creek. I've been spot walking. We see these fish. I ain't doing it this time. I'm gonna keep moving. When we've been spot locking, it ain't been helping them bite none. I'm gonna see if we can keep moving and trigger them. But, like, you know, this girl wasn't being kept in isolation. She had a whole friend group around her there. They were filming videos with every day and all that. So, like, she was having social interaction. But I would argue, hell, the more, as far as like growing up and being a responsible adult and human being, I would say she's probably more at risk of not turning out well just from the fact that she was making so much money at such a young age. Like, how do you, I mean, when I was a kid her age, man, I'm just happy to get my $5 allowance every week from my parents. This girl's making thousands of dollars a day. Like, how do you teach responsibility? I'm saying this coming from the perspective of having to budget and learn to balance a checkbook and all that stuff, because money's not infinite for me. But in her case, maybe she don't have to learn that kind of thing, because she had a big following from the get-go. She still does, and she's probably going to continue to do it on up through the rest of her life. So she may just be able to buy or do or go or whatever she wants with never having to worry about it. Joe Rogan, I watch Joe Rogan some. He's probably my favorite podcaster. I rarely watch or listen to an entire episode. Like, if I'm on a road trip or something, I will, but most of the time it'll be YouTube clips. It'll be little 5 or 10 minute sections of an interview of somebody he's been on there with. But I'd heard him say one time, and it made sense to me when he said it. He said, they were talking about money and when you know you've made it and when you know you've got enough money. And what he said was, you know you've got enough when you can walk into a restaurant and get whatever you want and not have to worry about the bill. When you can walk in and get you appetizer, entree, dessert, get you a Coke or whatever drink you want and not have to worry about how much it costs, you've got enough. You've made it. And so my situation, when I go into a restaurant, I think about that kind of thing. I'm like, okay, I'd kind of like to have a Pepsi today, but they're $4 here. No, I'll pass. I'll just have water. I'd like to have an appetizer here. Oh, they're $15 for 4 mushrooms. No, I think I'll pass. Because you got a budget. Money ain't unlimited, but like the girl in this documentary making hundreds of thousands of dollars every month, minimum. She goes in there and gets whatever the hell she wants. So, it's all about perspective. Everybody's perspective is a little different based on your life experience. But the documentary itself was fascinating. It was a fascinating look into that world, even though it was just one-sided. And they certainly, they made this woman look terrible. And she may be a terrible human being, I don't know. I mean, you can say she's exploiting her kid and all, but hell, if the kid's enjoying it, and the kid certainly seemed to be happy, but if the kid's enjoying it and you're helping your kid do something that makes them happy, and oh, by the way, you're making millions of dollars on top of it, well, good for you. Now, I can see how you can get a little addicted to that money, and maybe it goes too far if you start exploiting your kid, which the mother definitely needs to have a talk with her kid about putting on some more clothes on Instagram. It's going to maybe it won't be the posts and pictures and videos and stuff may not get as many clicks, but she definitely needs to cover up a little bit for her age and all. Well, keep staring at me, dude, you rude ass. He just kept looking at us. What the hell he's got a problem with? It's rude to just stare at somebody, especially not even wave. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this little girl's getting exploited by her mother or not. They did a damn good job of making it seem that way on the documentary, but the parents that are on this documentary, it's worth watching. It's very good. It's on Netflix. I forget the name of it, but it'll pop up on there. You'll see it. I don't think the parents that's in the documentary is any better people. Like, they only had a problem with this woman once they got kicked out. And they ended up suing, and there was 11 of them that sued. And they did a settlement, and they got like I think it was 1.8 or 1.6 million, something like that, for 11 of them. And you figure the lawyer fee, they're going to take, what, 30% of that? 25, 30% of it? So they didn't even get that much money when it was all said and done. And I'm like, what? And of course, they may have got more for the documentary. I'm sure Netflix paid them all something for being on that. But it's like, yeah, we wanted to go to trial and expose this woman, and we've had the FBI investigator and blah, 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 blah. But then they settled. It's like, don't say you want all this stuff to come out and then settle for what's going to work out to maybe $100,000 for each of them. Like, go to court, see it through. Are you going to get less in court? No, if you take it to trial, surely you're going to get more than what you settled for. So that kind of makes me think the fact that they settled makes me think that maybe some of their claims couldn't be proven. And I could certainly see why the influencer girl and her mother would settle for as little amount as what they took, because, I mean, hell, the legal fees they would acquire plus the time it would take away from them filming. When you look at how much time they would lose going to the court process versus how much they could make during that time filming videos with the number of views they're getting, hell, it's worth it to them. Just pay them off and make it go away. They're going to lose more money by not being able to film than what they're going to lose in the lawsuit. So I get the aspect of them. Like, I don't think them settling the lawsuit is necessarily admitting guilt as much as it is just cutting losses. So, again, you look at these documentaries. Some documentaries are right down the middle. They've got people on both sides providing both sides of the argument. Other documentaries, and this was certainly one of them, it's very one-sided. You get one side of the story. Now, they put a little thing at the end of each episode. It's 3 episodes. And it would say that the girl and her mother and mother's boyfriend or whatever all declined to be interviewed for this documentary. So they were obviously given a chance to tell their side and chose not to. Which, again, if your job is making videos and you're going to have to spend a day or 2 or maybe longer being interviewed for this documentary, and you're going to make, and who knows if they were going to be paid anything at all. I'm sure they get paid something, but like, you're going to be making way less for your time being interviewed for that than what you would be making if you just did your own interview or did your own videos. Why fool with it? It's just not good business. I mean, I'll tell you from my personal experience, and it ain't so much now, I haven't been asked to be on a podcast now and forever, but back during COVID, everybody decided they're stuck at home. Everybody's going to make a YouTube channel and everybody's going to have a podcast. You remember that? You remember that a few years ago when everybody's stuck at home? Everybody and their brother had a podcast. We got boats going in this creek right here. We're right here in front of this creek mouth right now. I'm hoping we get bit right there. But, man, you remember everybody was coming out with podcasts. And my email every day, I was getting blown up, man. People was just wanting me to give them an hour. And I was telling them no. Because it's like, I'm not just giving you an hour for your podcast. Like, I have to schedule that time. So that means I got to be home with good internet. I got to be showered and looking presentable. Most of these podcasts are afternoon, evening if they're live, or you got to schedule a time during the day. Like, that's time I could be out filming for my own channel. And none of these podcasts, like, you know, they would have 15 subscribers, 100 subscribers. Like, they ain't making no money. They ain't even monetized. So they're not offering you anything for your time. And that's time I could be out filming my own thing. Now you could say, well, Justin, you're getting extra exposure on their platform, their channel. It helps other people find you. Bullarchy. In theory, that would be true. Yes, if they had a large audience and it was different than my own audience, then yes, going on their podcast for free would be worthwhile because it would be advertising for me. But in reality, if they're getting 26 views per episode and it's the same genre that I'm in, Well, it's not helping me at all. In fact, it's my audience that's going to be watching, because I'm going to be driving people to their channel, their platform. So it just didn't make sense. So I was saying no all the time. I've done one podcast, at least to my knowledge, to my recollection here. I've done one. And it was a total waste. I only did it because I wanted to talk to the guy that was interviewing me. I liked his channel, and I just wanted to talk to him. But any of the others, it's just a waste of time. It ain't worth fooling with. Kind of like us suspending and drifting down through here. It ain't been worth fooling. We've been marking some fish, and we ain't been doing a damn bit of good. I think what we're going to do, I'm going to go down just a little bit further beyond this creek. Because I want to drift just down past here. And then I think we're going to spot lock and cast some baits out. I'm real curious, since we got bit with that dragging rig just sitting still while we were spot locked earlier. I'm going to try it down here. I want to get out of this creek mouth here a little bit, though, because there's going to be a lot of boats coming in and out of here, and it's such a small creek. I don't want to be getting run over here, getting rocked nonstop. But we'll go down just below here, spot lock, cast some baits out, and set here, see what happens. Because during that time, that's what I had to do. I had to cast baits out, and that got me bit. Now, that ain't been working well for me lately, back home, but every day's different. We may just go through the motions here. See what it'll do for us. Suspending baits down through here ain't doing crap for us, though. Them people's nice, they at least waved. That other guy was weird. He just kept staring us down. I don't really care if people wave at me or not. You go by and you just look at me. They're just gawking at me. That's what annoys me. I think we're going to have to try to cast some baits out, though. We're going to have to at least investigate it. I want to suspend, I want to just be wearing fish out coming down through here. But we're just not getting bit. We've come through all these fish. We can't trigger a bite. We got two different kinds of baits on right now. We've got a head, we've got chunks, we've used the shiner, we've used shad now, we've got the sucker on. There's something we're not doing right today. For as many fish as we've seen on the graph. There's something wrong with our presentation or our bait. I don't think that us stopping dragging was necessarily the wrong move, because we done it 2 hours and we only had them 3 fish, so we covered a big section of this. 2 hours, half a mile an hour, that's a mile of this bend right in the heart of it too, right in the middle where this creek comes in. This is, if I'm gonna fish a river bend, that's we're right in the meat of it, man. So we'll try anchoring next, or spot locking, casting baits out. We got a boat over here behind us. I want to get down below them. Where are we at now? How long have we been drifting? About an hour or so? One fish, man. We had 5 fish total on the day. 1 drifting. Yeah, it's definitely not lived up to what I had hoped it would do down here today. It only takes one fish to salvage the day, though. If we get a big monster, or if we get a flathead, a small flathead ain't gonna really excite me, but any decent sized flathead would be awesome. Big blue though, man. One big fish can salvage about any trip. Moved us out here a little bit. The wind is, as we've come around the bend, we're getting hit. It's pushing us more toward the bend now versus downstream like it was. So we're gonna have to compensate with the motor a little bit. We get down here and spot lock, it won't matter as much as long as the wind's blowing consistently, which it seems to be. In fact, I'm gonna turn us like this, work us down here a little bit quicker, get around this boat down here. They're over there fishing on the bank. It ain't gonna bother me, but it does bother me the fact that I'm trying to talk to you and tell you stories and stuff, and they're over here eavesdropping. I'm talking about this girl's mama exploiting a child. They might think I'm talking about exploiting a child, and you know how it is. People eavesdrop and only hear part of it. You better believe I eavesdrop on everybody. If I can walk through a grocery store and I hear a conversation happening, I'm gonna listen to every bit of it. Look at this right here. You see that? The fish is tucked down in that right there. There's two of them actually. There might be another one right there too. Little dip right there. We're gonna go down just beyond this though. Hit the spot lock and cast out. And there's all kinds of, like I said, all kinds of debris down through here, especially here on the kind of the lower part of this. So all right, let's see. Let me slow us down here now, and once we settle, I'm gonna hit the spot lock, turn us around. We'll just take our suspended rigs and cast them out. We'll leave one suspended. Well, we'll leave one suspended for sure, maybe two. Cast the others out. We'll put this dragging rig to work here too that I left tied on. We'll get it cast out. Oh, something hit me right here. Something hit that front rod. They hit it again. Oh, that one got hit too. We got two of them going down. Oh, that one come free. Is that one still on? Both of them got hit. No, this one's got it. I don't know if he's got the bait or if he's got the fly. How about that? We hit spot lock. Both rods get hit. That one hit the fly. Tiny little thing right there. This smallest one of the day, but thankfully he didn't knock our bait off. I would like to reuse that since we don't have much sucker. Yeah. Give me a fly back fish. right, y'all, we got us another one. I think I'm going to cast out. That sucked. Boy, it's bled out, though. We need to replace it. Let's replace that sucker with a fresh piece and cast it out. I think we're just going to try to fan cast through. Oh, our back rod. Our back rod. Well, hell far. We're sitting right here and we're getting bit. We'll cast out 2, we'll suspend 2. How about that? See what this one's on. Is he on the fly too? No, that one there was on the bait. Let's leave him there a second in the rod holder. While we get this other bait going, I want to get it down right quick because we've clearly got some more fish right here around us. We had 2 rods get hit, 1 hook up. Now that one goes down. We're on a little flurry of fish right here. We'll suspend these 2 baits on the front of the kayak, and we'll cast out a couple off the back. Hopefully between the wind and what little current we have, we'll get some scent dispersion going down behind us. Won't be much, but be a little bit anyway. This one here I'm not going to fool with putting on our measuring board because he's not very big. He's probably 25 inches, maybe 26 possibly, but definitely not as big as some of the others we've gotten today. Definitely, he ain't happy about me calling him out on it either, is he? Don't you act like somebody, fish. Come here now. Let me have you. I'm gonna try to let you go quick if you'll. That's what it is. He's acting out, but he don't really want to be let go quick. He wants every second of camera time he can get. He's heard that little girl's making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, and he wants in on it. You can't blame him. That fish right there could improve his life greatly if he was getting some of that influencer money, couldn't he? Let's, well, let's get a piece of shad. And put a head on one and a body on the other, maybe. These we're just going to cast out. This one and the dragging rig. This one we can cast out further, obviously, because it's on a heavier weight, but I'm not going to cast it super far. Just enough to get it out from the kayak a little bit. Get it back there, let it set on bottom. And that one actually will set on bottom. Our dragging rig, we put it back there. Of course, it has the float, so our bait will be just up off the bottom. This is a little bit smaller head. Let me hook this thing. I'll hook it through the meat like that. I'd like to have us some bigger shad, but yeah, I ain't putting that out very far. But it is behind us. It will be a different presentation. thing get on bottom there. And two-ounce sinker with that float takes forever to get down. There we go. Okay. Well, got everything out again. I'm gonna leave that head on the other front left. Let me just, I do need to check it though, just make sure that other fish that had hit it there when we first hit spot lock, make sure it didn't rip it off or didn't foul hook it. Yeah, it's looking kind of rough. I'm gonna leave it on though, since it's the only one we got, and it's definitely a bigger bait. We'll sit here a while. We'll sit here a while and see how we do, and if we catch some more fish, we'll keep sitting here. If we don't, we'll reel up these back two, slide down a little bit more, and maybe try it again. The drifting with suspended baits was not working out for us. But man, as soon as we got down here, we hit spot lock and setting still, boom. Had all them bites. We got that one there on the dragon rig earlier after we'd hit spot lock and was sitting there. Maybe we just sat still a little while. And just putting together puzzle pieces, man. You're just trying to, every day you just got to figure it out. Dragging's been working lately, but it wasn't paying off today. And so we mix it up, and maybe we need to be shallower. Maybe a day like this, water temperature's heating up. Maybe we need to be going shallower. I don't know. Maybe they're back in this creek here. Maybe they're up on the, closer to the island. But we're gonna try this. Where we at on time now? So we've been about 3 hours or so, I guess. We've gotten, when you add up all the fish we've gotten in this time period now, we've had several bites today. But I guess my expectations were high. I was wanting more. I always do, but I thought I'm gonna come down here and we'll just wreck them today. Still need some better quality fish too, and I really want a flathead. Doing what we're doing now is definitely going to improve our chances of getting a flathead, because not only do we have suspended baits, but we've got baits out on bottom now. That's just way better chances of getting a flathead doing that than what you do dragging. And I'll tell you, I've not had, at least to this point of the year, and granted, we're only in April 13th here, but I've not had a good year for flatheads. In fact, I think I've caught 2, 3 so far this year. Now, of course, I've spent most of the year, Lord, it's popping off, y'all. Civil War, it's just happened. You heard the first shots right here. It's probably turkey. We're about to go to war with the fish right here. Did you see that rod get bumped? But I was trying to say before we got interrupted there by the war breaking out, I've not really done a lot of fishing that would allow me the opportunity to catch flatheads. I mean, I've most of this year so far, I've been dragging. So if we could ever get on a different kind of bite, it would definitely help our odds. But the timing is right. I mean, this time of year, you start getting into spring, water temps in the 60s, like that's prime time, man. Them flatheads really, it's usually, the spring and fall is usually when I get my most and biggest flatheads. But this year so far, it's just been an odd year. It's not been a bad year for me. I mean, for flatheads, it's obviously been a bad year, but I mean, just for fishing overall, it's not been bad. I've got 3 big stripers. I've gotten some big blues. I've gotten a bunch of blues. Like I'm having a good year for both size and numbers. It's just what I'm having to do to get the size and numbers isn't really ideal for me getting flatheads. But you just never know. I mean, like, I got them 3 stripers. I got them dragging cut bait. And you wouldn't really think of that as being an ideal situation to get stripers, but yet we busted 3 big ones. As far as down here on Chickamauga, honestly, I've never caught a striper down here. If I got a fish over here, I do. Nope. No, he's on there. Yeah, he's on there. He's on a dragging rig that we cast out over here. Yeah. I was like, I feel the kayak moving. It's like I could feel myself leaning backwards. Oh no, that's another one of them damned old channel cats. Dadgummit. Old channel kitty. I told y'all lately how much I hate these things. I'm gonna probably go up to Sandusky Bay again this summer, and I'll be trying to catch them then. But them channel cats up on Sandusky, now some of them get big. These that we got here, this is about as good as it gets. Give me that hook back, you channel cat. Tell him to give me this hook back, y'all. Would you? He don't listen to me. There we go. Old channel cat. I ain't putting him on no measuring board either. He ain't gonna be big enough to fool with. What did we have on that? Was that the shad head that we had on that one? Let's get that one that we cut earlier there. Let's put that on there. Yeah, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I feel the dang kayak moving. I didn't feel him hit it. I just felt like I'm getting pulled backwards. I was talking about them stripers though. I don't know if there's stripers here or not. I would assume that some of them have probably come through the locks there at the dam and made their way down. Now, whether or not they have survived here or how many's here, I don't know. They get stocked on the Tennessee River. They don't reproduce. They go through the mating process, because you'll catch them in the spring and they'll be full of eggs, or sometimes you'll get sprayed with the you-know-what. But to my knowledge, they don't actually reproduce here. They try to. They go through the motions, but they're not able to reproduce. That's what I've been told. Again, I'm not a biologist, so I don't know if that's true or not. But you would have to assume that some of them have, I mean, I've caught a bunch on Watts Bar through the years, so you would assume they've come through Watts Bar Dam onto Chickamauga. But I've never caught one here, and I'm not really in touch with people that fish here a lot. I'm not really plugged into the local community, so I don't know. I don't know how, if they're caught here at all, how frequently, what size, I don't know. But, I mean, dragging like we've been doing, it's not really a technique you think of for catching stripers yet. We caught 3 this year doing that. So you just never know. It's just one of them things. Like, if you got a bait in the water, you always got a chance. And it's like too, in the past, like last year, I didn't catch a striper all year. But I mostly suspended baits last year. And suspending is another one of them things with, like, it's just a technique that, for whatever reason, it don't work as well with stripers. I've caught some doing it, but it's not frequently. Most of the stripers I've caught, just accidental catches, bycatches, when I'm catfishing. If you add up all the ones I've caught through the years, most of them have occurred when I'm anchored down and I'm casting baits out on bottom. That's where most of them come from. And we got one hitting this back rod over here. He's got it too. Another one that we got on the cast it out rod. I hope it ain't another channel cat. We may have to move if it's a channel cat. I don't want to waste bait on them. Old channel cats. I am going to try to catch them when I go up Sandusky Bay, though. I will admit the bigger ones are more fun. The little ones, not so much. Oh my gosh, it is another channel cat. Ugh. This is getting discouraging quick, y'all. Oh, he's about to poop too. Oh, you better not have pooped all over me, you old channel cat. You old nasty thing. Open your mouth. Look at him. He's clamped down. He won't open that mouth for nothing. Open up. There. Let's get you out of here. Look at him. He's about to poop. Look at that. You old nasty thing. Tried to bite my thumb off, too. Nasty old channel cat. We may have to move here in a minute. I'm hoping they're just working through. I'm hoping there's not a bunch of them down there. That one ate the shad. Let's do this. Well, I hate to waste that shiner on channel cats. They'll eat anything. I was kind of thinking maybe we could put on a different bait and deter them, but you can't deter a channel cat. They'll eat anything. Let me throw this head and tail overboard. Maybe it'll appease them. We'll feed the hungry children down there and they can leave our good baits alone. At least we can hope anyway. Channel cats are ornery little creatures though. I don't know what makes them be so mean. I will admit they fight hard for their size. But outside of going somewhere like a Sandusky Bay that's known for big channel cats, that's the only situation where I would be actively trying to catch them. Okay. All right, back out that goes. We'll set it on bottom. Okay, back out again. We've definitely, though, picked up our bite since we got back down here. It seems like above the creek, not only were we not getting bit, but we weren't really seeing much on the graph, or seeing as much. We were coming up through here, first thing, we were seeing more, having more taps at the baits. And of course, now that we've got back down here, we've gotten a few fish, blues and channels now. So, a little bit more encouraged, at least, as far as getting more numbers of fish, but we need some better quality. Need to at least get better dinks, if nothing else, so we can help our tournament score. I still hate that we ain't gonna turn in that 29 3/4 inch fish. I just don't feel good about turning it in. We'll hopefully find some more that's closer to 29 3/4 than they are 30. That's what we need to rig up right there for this kayak. It's a bimini top. I got my, well, I don't have my umbrella with me. It's up there in my box on the trailer that's probably been broken into by now. But I have been known to put that thing up in the summertime when it gets hot. But a day like today, it'd be nice just to have something. You obviously wouldn't want to put it up on a real windy day because it'd act like a sail, but it'd be nice to have something that you could quickly pop up, that you didn't have to take on and off the kayak all the time. Like I keep my, right here, this is the part there I use for that umbrella. I got a ram ball that attaches to like a ram ball extension arm. Then I got another ram ball into a PVC end cap and a piece of PVC, and that umbrella handle fits down in that PVC real snug. And then I can articulate this and move it around however I need to put that umbrella and have it up over me. But that's what well, hell, now I can't get that thing back down in there. There we go. That's what I do, and that stays on the kayak all the time. But the umbrella, I mean, I could put it in the front hatch, I guess. Have it here, but otherwise, it'd be nice to have something that you could just always be on the kayak, you know? Like a bimini top type thing. Hobie makes one, and it plugs into your sail mast area there in front of that front hatch and connects, but the way it rigs up, you've got these cords, and they would get in the way for what we would like to do. Hell, a bimini top, it would probably get in the way too, depending on how you had it rigged, how far up the bars had to come. I've thought about that in the past though, like between that or building some kind of enclosure for the winter months that you could probably give yourself carbon monoxide poisoning, but try to keep yourself warm in the winter, keep the wind off of you. That's one of the biggest things that I struggle with in the winter is just the wind. Sometimes if it's just cold, you can deal with cold, but the wind blowing is what gets you. Hell, even right now, this time of year, when it's cool in the mornings, like, that's why I waited today to come out and fish the afternoon, because it was cold this morning. Well, I say cold, it was like, I don't know, 40 degrees, low 40s. But it's cold enough, I didn't want to get out there in it. I knew I could come out in the afternoon and it'd be in the 70s. I will fish the mornings right now if it's going to be calm in the mornings and the wind's going to be blowing a lot in the afternoons, but today the wind was going to be so light, I knew it was a good day for us to be out. I think tomorrow though, if I can, and I'll probably look and see, let me see what wind finder's looking like tomorrow morning. I'm definitely not going to make a long journey from the house if I go tomorrow. It'll be somewhere close to home. Yeah, so tomorrow, 8 a.m., 9 miles an hour, max 30. And then by 11, it's 15 to 28 and up all day. So it's going to be warm at least, but it's going to be windy. So I'll probably get up in the morning early because I wake up early every day. Whether I want to or not, I'll get up and take a look outside, see what it's doing, make a decision from there. I think for no more longer than I'm going to fish here today, at least time left anyway, we should have some bait left over. And I may go out there and see if I can catch something with it. I mean, even if we just boost our tournament score a little bit, it would be something. Because we do still got to get some more fish just to finish out a limit. And I ain't trying to just get out a limit. You know, I want to win this thing. I want to win that kayak. So we need to win this tournament. We need to win, well, we need to do well in 5 of them. I'd preferably like to do real well in the first 5 so that I don't have to fish all 7 of them. Because I really don't like measuring a bunch of fish. The fish we've measured today, though, ironically, have been pretty cooperative. Most of the time, your small fish will just flip and flop every which way. But these today, the ones we've took pictures of, have been really good. That's kind of unusual. Usually, the big ones usually do well for you. You can put them up there. About the biggest challenge with the big ones, it's not them flopping around, it's them sliding off the board. If you're trying to get a picture and you're in choppy water or a boat goes by, you're bouncing and kayak's moving, the fish will slide back and forth on the board or this way and fall off. Like that's the biggest thing with big fish. The little ones, most of the time, they're the ones that really give you hell. I don't know why the big ones will lay flat so easily and the little ones usually don't, but I don't know. It's always been like that. Blues are definitely easier than flatheads. Flatheads, blues and channels we have to put on their sides. I was going 70 miles an hour right into that creek mouth that's 20 foot wide. Blues and channels we have to measure on their sides. Flatheads we can measure on their belly. But flatheads always want to curl their tail. And so you have to usually take your hand and kind of hold it straight and try to get everything in the picture with your other hand without being able to see on your phone. But it is nice when you can score a big flathead in a tournament. It's just something, it's always something more special about catching a flathead. I guess because I don't catch as many of those blues, and you know, I won't say they're a dime a dozen, because I mean, some days you obviously have a hard time catching them. But they're definitely a lot more. I mean, I'm going to catch 20 blues to every 1 flathead I catch throughout the year. Some years, probably the proportions, I mean, this year the proportions are way higher than that. So I think it's just the fact I don't catch as many flatheads that makes them more special to me. And then throw in the fact when you do get a big one, like a really big one, it's just cool, man. They're cool fish anyway. They're just every one of them, like you can catch some big blues, and they all, I mean, maybe girth size, length size might be different, but for the most part, the blues look the same. But flatheads, every one of them is a little bit unique in their color patterns, shape of their face. Like, it's just every one of them's unique. I just like them better for some reason. I don't like fishing for flatheads specifically, but when I get one while I'm just regular catfishing, it's always more enjoyable. Like, I'm not going to go out and fish all night long with live baits, what most flathead fishermen typically do. Like, I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't enjoy the process as much. I like fishing how I like to fish, but I enjoy the flatheads that I do get doing what I do. And I get enough of them. I mean, especially when I'm suspending or anchor fishing in general, like I get enough flatheads to keep me satisfied. It's always a trade-off. I wish there was that one thing you could do that would help you catch everything. Blues, flatheads, stripers, Like if there was just that one technique that could consistently get you all three of them all the time. But unfortunately, you've oftentimes kind of got to sacrifice chances at one to go after the other. It's kind of, I mean, I think we've talked about this on this channel before, but I think it's kind of just best to figure out what it is you like to do, the technique, the style of fishing, and do that. And then just enjoy whatever fish you catch with it. Enjoy the process versus just the results. And I know that's counterintuitive to an extent because, I mean, I think everybody that goes fishing wants to catch fish and wants to catch a certain type of fish. And I think most of us certainly want to catch the biggest fish of whatever species we're going after. So it can be a little bit counterintuitive to say that, enjoy the process, when that may mean you do something that maybe won't give you the best chance on a particular day to catch the most or biggest fish of whatever species you're going after. But if you love what you're doing, then you're going to have fun no matter what. And then when the day comes that you do get those big fish, doing what it is you love to do, it's even better. Whereas, I mean, if it's just about result, like we could come out here, we could go get us a commercial license, buy us some hoop nets and come set them out here and get way bigger fish than what we're ever going to get on rod and reel. But what the hell fun is that? That wouldn't be fun. Sure, we'd pull up some fish and get a picture with them, but for me, the fun is getting that bite, reeling them in, and doing it in the kayak. Like, that's what I want to do. So, I mean, to each their own. Ain't my place to tell you what's fun. Everybody's going to have different things that they enjoy and like to do. So it's an individual thing. But when you do find a technique that you like doing, that you're good at, that you're confident in, and it just works out, like you're catching a bunch of fish and you're getting good fish. And I'll use the example of the ultralight fishing with me. Like, I like throwing that gulp minnow, that 1-inch gulp minnow, on my ultralight setup. And that's one of those things that it travels well. I can do it anywhere. Really, the two places, or not places, the two times I can't really do that super effectively is when the wind's blowing super hard or in real muddy water. The rest of the time, that technique, man, I can do it just about anywhere and catch some fish and get a lot of fish. And because it's ultralight, everything's fun to catch. And it just, man, it's just fun. Like, I wish I could do that. I wish there was something like that with catfish where I could have that technique that would travel well, that would be super fun to do, and just catch a bunch of fish. What's going on right here? Something was coming up right there beside us. Right there on the surface. See, I wish we had some live baits today. The surface activity we've seen, and he ain't gonna come back up now though. I've got the camera pointed that way. Yeah, I wish there was something like that I could just go anywhere, like what I'm doing, have it be super productive everywhere, and as far as catfishing goes, be readily available. I mean, when I'm ultralight fishing and I'm using the gulp minnows, well, I show up to the water, I've got everything I need. With catfishing, when you travel somewhere, those of you that you're watching or listening to this and you do go places to catch catfish, you know what I'm talking about. Half of the battle when you go somewhere new oftentimes is just finding bait. Hell, even me fishing around the house half the time, I can't find bait. I spend so many hours over the course of the year just trying to get us something to put on a hook so that we can go catfishing. So I wish there was something readily available. And I know some of you out there probably going to say, well, Justin, just get some chicken. My granddaddy put garlic powder and Kool-Aid on that chicken and caught bunches of catfish. You know, you're not wrong. You can certainly catch a bunch of fish using chicken. I've done it. I've got videos on my channel doing it. When I go up to Sandusky Bay this summer, I'll be throwing chicken. But I want something that, as far as catfishing goes, I want something that's going to not only be productive but in numbers, but give me a better chance at catching big fish more regularly than what, yeah, I know some people catch big fish with chicken. But most of them aren't doing that consistently outside of a few bodies of water or certain times of year where fish are more feeding on mussels. It seems like they'll hit chicken more when they're more feeding on mussel beds. But it would be nice to have something that was readily available or easily catchable everywhere, a technique you enjoyed doing that just worked. Like with the Ultralight and the Gulp, man, I'm confident I can go anywhere and catch some fish. As long as it ain't super windy, you know. But catfish, not so much. With catfish, I'm pretty confident when I go somewhere new that I'm going to catch some catfish, but I'm going to have to find a bait that's native to that area. I'm going to have to figure out what technique is working. You know, there's a lot I got to figure out when I go somewhere new to figure out the pattern, figure out what's going to work during that time period that I'm there. When I'm ultralight fishing and I'm just fishing for whatever, hell, I'm going to beat the banks. I'm going to go down through there and throw it overhanging trees and bluff walls and docks and boat houses and anything else I can find down through there. And we'll catch some fish over the course of the day. I guess that's probably the difference. That's probably, you know, when I go ultralight fishing, I'm happy with whatever I get. And when I go catfishing, I got standards. My standards are lower than a lot of people's, but I still got some standards. It must be a tournament or something. Here comes two more boats all heading back to the creek. I bet there's a tournament back there or something today, maybe. This time of year, hell, there's a tournament all time. Our next catfishing tournament's on Nickajack next month in May. I need to get down there and practice a little bit. If I could get some skipjack, I'd go ahead and go on down there, but I definitely, if I'm gonna drive that far, which this is a long drive for me to get here today, but if I'm gonna go on down and fight Chattanooga traffic, because Nickajack ain't that much further drive than here. It's just, once I go down that far, I'm gonna be in Chattanooga traffic. That's what I don't want to deal with. So I definitely, if I'm gonna go fight that, I want to have some better quality bait. Oh, Lordy, folks. I think it's about time to move. I think I'm just going to slide down a little bit, do the same thing we're doing here. I'll probably switch out both of these front suspended baits. I'd like to, that head, that's obviously our biggest bait that we have with us today. But it's been on so long now, it's washed out. I think we need to switch it out. I'll probably just switch out everything and slide down. How long we been at this crap now? We've probably been, Lord, we've been filming damn near 4 hours now, probably, between this battery and the other one that crapped out. Y'all about ready to call it quit? I'm parched. I need to get me something to drink here, y'all. I've been sipping a little bit, but I don't want to really guzzle right here in the microphone because that's disgusting. But I'll probably just wrap up the video, maybe get a little off-camera me time here the rest of the day. But I appreciate you coming with me. It's not been, you know, today we haven't got the size that I wanted. We haven't got the numbers of fish I wanted, but it's not been a bad day as far as productivity. We've gotten some bites, too many channel cats, but we've gotten some bites. We've been able to get some fish, and we've done it doing everything. We got a few fish dragging. We've got some suspended. We've got a couple with the baits cast out. Like, they're hitting a little bit of everything. It's just we're not getting the quality or really the numbers that I had hoped for, but I mean, we are getting some action. Probably, I would say maybe it could just be our bait too. It's probably part of it. If we had some skipjack with the water temps being above 60, if we had some skipjack, we'd probably be doing a little better today. But nevertheless, it's not been a bad day. It's certainly been beautiful as far as being out here in it. So thank you for coming with me. Hope you enjoyed it. If you've sat through, God mighty, the 3 of you that have rode out all 4 hours here with me and sat through everything we've talked about, thank you so much. I appreciate the hell out of you. I'll see you next time.